Well, folks, hello and welcome. Grimm Stadium, a big one tonight in District 9-5A. It's the Marshall Mavericks and the Texas High Tigers, both of us 2-0 in district. Glenn Bickerdike, Reggie Cooper, Topher Patty, Alec Reyes. I'm Chase Palmer. We are so excited to be bringing you this one tonight, a huge game here in East Texas.
It is a great night for football, Chase. I guess getting excited for this game coming off last week's big victory at home and homecoming. And, you know, I got kind of caught up in the caravan coming up here, and you really think about Texas high school football, all that's involved. Most people don't think about all the buses that moves the student body up here. Of course, you got your football team on a couple of charter buses, and you got your band and your drill team and your cheerleaders. I mean, it's you got big trucks with band equipment. I mean, it's quite an undertaking to see the buses running up US 59. And, you know, we met several other schools. We saw Wascom and Gladewater and Linden Kildare. But Friday nights in East Texas is something special, and this is going to be really special here tonight.
Yeah, and extra special tonight in this one for Marshall and Texas High. This will be the 100th meeting between Marshall and the Texas High Tigers, dating back all the way to 1910. These schools played each other, Glenn, every single season from 1910 to
0-2, and then you have four teams at 1-1. And what's so interesting about that is the 2-0 teams are playing each other, the 2-0 teams are playing 0-2 teams are playing each other, and the 4 1-1 teams are all matching up. So regardless of who wins what game, when the night ends, there's going to be one team at 3-0. There's going to be three teams at 2-1. There's going to be three teams at 1-2, and that one team that's at 0-3, which is going to be either Hallsville or White House. You know, that team can probably go ahead and start planning for basketball season.
Well, I tell you what, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Texas High as we get this one started tonight. Coach Jerry Stanford came in from the Metroplex 5 seasons ago. He's 28-17 at Texas High. The Tigers coming off a season last year where they finished 11-1, went into the second round of the playoffs. Glenn, they won the district 7 wins, no losses, pretty much won it going away last season. Beat the Mavericks at home 28-0. And, you know, Marshall doesn't get shut out very often. The last time they had been shut out was also to Texas High. So this is a team that the Mavericks have struggled with historically up here at Grimm Park. I mean, I think the numbers here, let's see, the Mavs are 9-14-1 here at Grimm since 1953. The last time we were here, though, a big win, 35-33-17. So a tough opponent for Marshall historically.
Yeah, and not only in football, I mean, you know, of course we talk about Longview a lot in football, and they're always strong there. But when you think about the athletic program at Texas High, I mean, they're in pretty much every sport. I mean, we talked last week, their girls volleyball team was #1 ranked team in the state. Their baseball team is always strong. Softball is usually pretty strong. Track, you know, basketball is usually pretty solid, but, you know, they always put a good product on the field or on the court. And like I say, in football, very similar to Longview, they don't have many down years.
Well, let's look a little bit at the Tigers. Texas High comes into this one riding a 12-game district winning streak. Interesting statistic from last week. The first time Texas High has been scored on this season in the second half was last week against Hallsville. They led that game 30-10 at the half, and Hallsville came storming back, got within 9 yards of taking the lead with 3:30 to play in the game before they turned it over on downs. I'll tell you what, that was one we were watching there in the press box against Jacksonville. We were watching that going, what is going on over at Hallsville? But I tell you what, 420 yards of offense for Hallsville last week against these Tigers gives you some optimism for what Marshall's offense could do tonight.
Yeah, we talked before we came on the air tonight about Hallsville. You know, they're 0-5 on the season, but it appears that they're getting better every week. They were obviously right in the game with Texas High. We really don't know what to expect out of them, you know, other than what their record is. But, you know, for them to gain 420 yards of offense against Texas High, you would certainly think that the Maverick offense is, with the playmakers that we've got that we've talked about all season, we'll certainly talk about tonight with our athletes. I can't imagine that if Hallsville can do that kind of damage against their defense, I feel very confident that we ought to be able to do the same.
So Texas High giving up, last week they won 37-24 over Hallsville on the road. This season, the Tigers are giving up only, 15 points per game on average. They're averaging 34.7 points per game. Their wins have come against some opponents, maybe not quite the caliber that Marshall has played. They beat Forney 34-13 in the second game of the season. Forney coming off an 0-10 season last year. And then they beat Tyler High, 24-10 to start the season. They did have one game canceled with Arkansas High due to COVID and beat Mount Pleasant 44-13. So if you're looking at the caliber of teams that we've played and they've played, I think we've played a little bit better competition.
Yeah, when you look at the winning percentage, you kind of went through the teams that they played, the records of those teams, and you mentioned they had the one, I guess it was a forfeit game that was canceled against Arkansas High, but the combined records of Texas High's opponents is 8-12, which is a .400 winning percentage. And on the other side, you look at the Mavericks' record of 3-2, and the Mavericks had played 5 games rather than 4. Their opponents have a combined record of 14-12, which is about a .538 winning percentage. So you're exactly right, Chase. When you look at the caliber of competition, you look at those 2 losses that the Mavericks had. We've talked about several over the weeks. They lost to New Caney, who is a 4-1 team with their one loss to the number 2 ranked team, College Station. Lost to Longview, who is now 5-1. They've not had a bye week. They lost to number 1 Denton Ryan, their only loss. And then tonight Longview is up in the Metroplex playing Highland Park. So the Mavericks' 2 losses are respectable, and like I say, when you look at the competition, it's that the meter kind of moves over in our favor, I believe. And
when you talk about how close these teams are statistically, Texas High comes in averaging about 367 yards per game. They've had 1,467 total yards here in 20. They're giving up about 257.8 yards per game. If you look at Marshall defensively, we're holding teams to about 318 yards, doing a great job on the rushing side. We're only giving up about 148 yards a game. That's really an area that they've done well here at Texarkana, so that's going to be an interesting push-pull there. The Mavericks come in, and we talked about this in the pregame, or before the game tonight. The Mavericks had only scored 65 points on the season before last week, where they scored 64 points against Jacksonville, 43 points in a quarter. Never seen that before. Marshall had an explosion, not all offensively, but it did put points on the board. If Marshall can continue to score in all these different facets of the game, could get really interesting this season.
Like I say, it's been a long time since I've been as excited as I was in the first half of that game last week. Like I say, just that second quarter explosion. I mean, we were scoring, offensively, defensively, special teams, and it was just a total team effort where all 3 facets of the game were clicking on all cylinders, and like I say, it was quite fun. If you were a Maverick fan, I'm sure as far as the Jacksonville Indians go, I'm sure they've probably never been as ready to get out of Marshall, Texas as they were last Friday night. And I think the second half running clock, I think the second half was over in just under 30 minutes, because I think both teams were ready to get to the locker room and get on to this week. And we talked about the homecoming festivities, that being a trap game, and I'm so glad to see our guys rise to the occasion, get that victory. And I had the opportunity to talk to one of the coaches. I was up at the field house before the team left to pick up some stuff for the Mavettes, and sounds like, and you may have heard from your son Sam at home, but it sounded like they had a really good week of practice this week.
I think they did. I think they had a great week of practice. I think they're ready for this one. They looked dialed in when we got here a little early and was able to see that. So we're going to take our first break here. We're going to take about a 1-minute break here in the Brown Rig Insurance Agency pregame show. You're listening to Marshall Maverick Football. We'll be back in just a minute. Well, folks, welcome back here to Marshall Maverick Football. It's the Mavericks and Texas High. We're in the Brown Rig Insurance Agency pregame show. I'm Chase Palmer. Alongside me, Glenn Bickerdike, Reggie Cooper, Topher Patty, Alec Reyes. The whole crew is here. And I'll tell you, we're excited about this one as we start to take a peek at the Marshall Maverick offense.
Well, Chase, before we get into that, why is it that you and I are the only 2 that are working? We're sitting here talking about the game, and we got Topher over here to the left, and we've got Reggie to the right. They've got chicken fried steak and macaroni and cheese and what is that, banana pudding and coleslaw. And they've got a spread. I hope there's some left when we get done doing the pregame. Maybe by the half we'll get to eat.
I'm holding out for that Dairy Queen Victory Blizzard. I feel it coming tonight. Reggie knows I'll stop for that. So let's talk a little bit about the Maverick offense tonight. Coming into this football game, Marshall was only averaging right at 16 points per game. After that explosion last week, the Mavericks' average has jumped up to almost 26 points per game, which eclipses where they were last season. Marshall comes into this one 1,361 yards of total offense. They're averaging right at 272 a game now. They're running the ball 587 yards, about 117 yards per game. And then throwing the ball 774, about 154 per game. And something I wanted to point out I thought was really interesting, Glenn, if you look at J.Q. Davis, man, what a year he's having. On the season, 86 totes for 516 and 6 touchdowns, so he's right at a 6-yard average. But in the last 3 games, he's 55, 391, 7.1 yards per carry, 6 touchdowns. If he has 7 yards per carry average tonight, we win.
I believe you're right. And like I say, he is every week he's getting better. We knew he was going to be a special back for the Mavericks, and we'll mention he's just a junior. We're going to get to enjoy him again next year, but that offensive line is coming together, giving him some holes to run through, and he doesn't need much of a crease, and because he can do a whole lot on his own, but when he's getting some help from that offensive line, he's fun to watch.
Boy, he is a tough runner. He doesn't go down on first contact. Very seldomly does he do that, and he usually pushes the pile. One thing you don't see him get caught in many negative yardage situations. He's going to get a yard almost every time, so that's really something. He's not a big guy. 5'8", 185, 190, but really powerful runner.
Yeah, and he doesn't make many mistakes. I mean, and that's pretty much from a running back standpoint is turning the ball over. If I'm not mistaken, he's maybe put it on the turf one time this season. That was against Pine Tree, I believe.
I think that's right.
We had a chance to put that game away, but we did get the ball back. But I believe that's the only turnover he's been responsible for. So really a catalyst in that Maverick offense.
And I tell you what, if you'll look over to the other side right in front of him, you got Michael Olvera, the senior, waited his turn, has come in and played really well in the last. He's played in three and a half games this season. He's 39 of 66 for 609 yards, 4 touchdowns, only 1 interception, right at a 60% completion percentage. And that's what I think is important about him there is he makes good decisions, he gets the ball out quick, and he doesn't commit a lot of turnovers.
Right. He's not real flashy. Like I say, he takes care of business. He takes care of the ball. As you mentioned, the one turnover, we've seen him make some exceptional throws this year where he's really just put it the only place you could put it to where his receiver could make the play. And but he's been the difference in the offense really getting going after that first game and a half where it was pretty well stagnant.
Yeah, it's really been fun to watch the last several weeks. This team continues to get better, and we would just totally be remiss, if you will, if we didn't mention the offensive line play. Man, it gets better each and every week. Coach Lottinger has those guys really playing well. He's had a lot of mixes and matches in that offensive line. I don't think we've had the same offensive line yet in a game, but, man, they're doing a good job and getting better every week.
Right, and they are, and the exciting thing about it, and we've talk about, J.Q. Davis being a junior, 80% of that offensive line, 4 out of 5 of them are underclassmen. We got 3 juniors and a sophomore to go along with 1 senior, and just to think what they're going to be next year if they all stay healthy.
It'll be interesting to see tonight. Marshall did this a lot last week against Jacksonville. You saw that they preferred to run left behind big Connor Haggerty, 6'4", 240. Had him a whale of a game last week. He really needs to have a big game tonight. That front four for Texas High, pretty big.
They're big, and year in, year out, they're going to have athletes. They've got, we talk about what they've got to draw from. You might mention the numbers, some of their sub-varsity numbers, 8th and 9th grade, hundreds of kids that are coming out to play football, and we just don't have those numbers. And they're going to have big kids, they're going to have athletic kids, and we just got to go toe-to-toe with them.
Yeah, you're talking about Texas High. I think they had 263 kids in their 8th grade football game this week. That is a humongous number. And they had right at 100 in their 9th grade. But, you mentioned you're talking about a group here. They've got right at 1,900 kids, much larger than us. We're right about 1,410 right now. So that's a big difference. You got more kids to pull from. And they've had a lot of success here in the last several years. So both of those things are going to translate to larger numbers.
Right. I mean, and winning does that, and especially when you turn that winning not just into a season but into a tradition. And I think we're going to see that with this Maverick team. I am really excited and confident in this team that we've got on the field this year. Whatever the outcome is tonight, they're winners, and fans, your fan base likes a winner. And we'll see. If they win this game tonight, when we get home next week against White House, I bet it'll be probably a bigger crowd than we had at homecoming.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, coming into this one, folks, a couple of other little tidbits for you. The Mavs were shut out last year by T-High, 28-0. It was the first time that Marshall had been shut out in a district game since 2013, which was also to Texas High, 45-0. Coincidentally, that's also the largest loss to Texas High in the history of this 100-year matchup. So one of the things we want to do, we want to score tonight. We don't want to get shut out. I was talking to Sam, my son, who's the deep snapper. Last year, we punted the ball 8 times against Texas High. We don't want to do that again tonight either. I think we punted last week once.
Yeah, as you mentioned, if JQ carries the ball for 7 yards a carry, we win. If we punt the ball 8 times tonight, we probably lose.
That's probably right. So looking at the defensive side of the football, we're going to turn over, talk a little bit about Texas High offensively and the Maverick defense. So T-High comes into this one tonight. Their quarterback, Brayson McHenry, he's 37 of 62, 509 yards on the season. He, too, is right at 60%. He's thrown 5 TDs, no interceptions. He runs the bus for Texas High, but the guy behind him's pretty good, too. Braylon Stewart, 87 carries, 667 yards, and a very impressive 7.6 yards per carry and 9 touchdowns. That's the duo we've got to stop to win.
Right, and of course, a lot of those yards that you mentioned about Stewart came in one carry last week that sealed that game against Hallsville. He had the 91-yard run right after that Texas High defense stopped Hallsville that was about to go in and literally take a 1-point lead in the final few minutes of that game. They turn it over on downs. First play from scrimmage, they hand it off to Stewart, and he runs 91 yards and pretty much puts that game away.
And really, that's what they're doing to win football games. I mean, he's averaging 167 yards a game on the ground just himself. Their biggest wide receiver, Brandon Hall, most catches rather, he's only had 18 catches for 157 yards. They're not really doing it through the air this year. They're doing it on the ground. That is somewhat good for us. We stack up seemingly well with the run, so it's a plus strength to a plus strength, and who is going to win that plus strength?
I totally agree with that, and we saw that early on last week against Jacksonville when we had the 3-man front and trying to defend the pass, and we didn't do a very good job. That they went down and scored that first touchdown. But I believe if we can play with more men up front in the box and not have to key too much on the pass, I certainly agree with that plays into our favor.
Well, the key tonight for the Marshall Mavericks defensively is going to be the play of Carson Combs, Isaiah Alexander, you've heard us call him Seabiscuit, and Trey Latravian Adams. Those three, and I think you'll see us play what we call the Maverick a lot, where we walk both our outside linebackers up and go to a 5-man front. I think you'll see that a lot from Marshall as I live with a linebacker. So I believe that you'll see that. It's been very effective this season for us so far. Pine Tree, we pretty much shut them down running the football. I mean, if you look at the numbers, for Pine Tree, we gave up 96 yards on the ground to Pine Tree. We gave up 67 yards on the ground to Jacksonville. We gave up 152 yards on the ground to Longview. That's a strength for us. If we can do that, well, I think we can hold our own in this one.
Yeah, and the key, like I say, playing that is each man taking care of his assignment, filling his gap, because if that running back comes through and you miss him, like you say, it gets into that second level of the defense, and by then you've picked up 8 or 10 yards.
So we are just about to get this one. Let's see how many. It looks like we've got about 5 minutes before we're going to get this one kicked off. The Mavericks are out in their tunnel. They're getting ready to run out. Texas High has yet to come out of the dressing room. So we're going to take one more break here on the Brown Rig Insurance Agency pregame show. We'll give you the keys to the game when we come back, so stay with us. Have come on to the field tonight. If you've never been to Grimm Stadium, it is very tight on the sidelines. There's no track here, so it's similar to Oklahoma State if you've ever seen them play. Oklahoma is very similar to that, just not a lot of room on the sidelines. So we'll see if that plays a part here tonight. The band and the fans are literally right on top of you.
It's a great atmosphere. Actually, I played at what's now Tyler High, John Tyler, back in the 80s, but this is the same stadium I played in, almost, hard to say it, almost 40 years ago. Of course, it's been remodeled, and they've done a great job with this complex, but it is like you said, it's kind of an intimate stadium with the fans right down, literally on top of the players.
Well, make sure you join us tonight. You can join us a lot of different ways. One of those, if you're in Marshall within our radio broadcast pickup area, KMHT 103.9 FM. You can also join us on the web, www.easttexastoday.com. Go to the KMHT icon, click that, and you can go in and watch us there as well as listen. And it's also available on Facebook Live. So the Tigers just did something with some orange smoke. We're glad that's moving away. Couldn't see really anything for a second.
Smoke and mirrors.
There's smoke and mirrors, that's right. So the Mavs, let's see, tonight to handle the coin toss for the Mavs is going to be number 76. Let's see, that's going to be some offensive linemen. Number 76, that's Terrence Satchel. And who's that next to him?
Well, he's kind of turned.
He's covered up by the 290-pound 77.
That is a big boy.
Yeah, that's a big dude from Texas High. So our coin toss tonight is brought to you by Texas Scrap and Salvage. It's kind of hard for us to see what's going on. The referee actually is kind of within there. It looks like they've already done the coin toss. Texas High won the toss, and they will defer to the second half. So Marshall will start with the football. That's not something we see a lot. We try to defer as well. So the Mavs will start with the ball. They'll be moving right to left on your radio dial.
That's Seabiscuit, the other captain out there for the Mavericks.
Yeah, big number 96.
No, that's not Seabiscuit. 96.
That's that 99.
That's Trey.
That's Trey Adams.
That's Trey Adams.
So Marshall will receive the football to start this one as we are just moments from getting this one underway from Texarkana. Again, your coin toss tonight brought to you by Texas Scrap and Salvage. Don't flip a coin to decide what to do with your scrap. Take it to Texas Scrap and Salvage. So here we go, folks. A big one tonight in the East Texas area. It's the Mavs and the Tigers, the 100th meeting. And we're hopeful that that one is going to be a win for Marshall when it's all said and done.
I wonder how many schools can say that they've played another school 100 times. I mean, multiple schools. Let's say, like you mentioned, this is 2 schools now for Marshall that they will have played 100 times.
Yeah,
there may not be another one in the state that can say that.
Really, really neat to have that kind of history. A lot of history in Marshall and MISD right now. A lot of promise in our past and a lot of promise for our future. So here we go. About to get this one kicked off from Grimm Stadium. Back deep for the Mavericks will be, looks like, number 4. That's going to be J.Q. Davis. And number 7. Nope, that's number 3, Chi-Chi Domar Roberson. Oh, that is number 7. Is that going to be?
That's Davis and.
Who's 7?
That's 7. It's Montana Warren.
Montana Warren. There we go. So here comes the kick from Texarkana from the 40. It's going to be a short kick, scrubbed. It's going to hit, and we don't jump on it. And Texas High. Oh, we got it.
We got you talking about a huge break there. I'm trying to get a number here on this up back as he gets up. That's number 17. That's James Perkins.
Yeah, he wasn't ready for that.
He wasn't ready. I don't know if he thought that, didn't know that that was a live ball, but the Mavericks get a huge break early on here. The ball is live. It hits, comes back to Perkins. He's able to fall on it, and that's going to set the Mavericks up on their first possession at the 26-yard line.
And it's almost like he didn't think the ball was alive.
Well,
he just let it fall and watched it. So here comes Marshall quickly to the line of scrimmage. 3 receivers split wide to the right from the left hash. Olvera in the shotgun. He's going to hand it off up the middle to J.Q. Davis. He might get a couple. They're going to mark him. Let's see.
I think he may have got one, Chase, if they're going to give him that. Reggie's saying that the first play from scrimmage is going to be a 1-yard gain.
So a 1-yard pickup there for J.Q. Davis. It'll bring up 2nd down and 9 for the Mavericks from their own 27-yard line. First possession here of the football game for the Mavs. 2 receivers split wide to the right, 1 to the left. From the middle of the field, Olvera with a man to his left. He'll split out J.Q. Davis. Olvera quickly throws it to Davis. Open out there at the 25-30. Still on his feet. He'll make one man miss. He'll take it to the 35, and that's going to be just short of a first down.
Yeah, I think he's going to mark him at the 34. He's going to be about 2 yards short of the first down. That's going to, on this opening drive, the Mavericks are going to be set up 3rd and 2 here. Opportunity to convert this and continue to move the football.
That'll be a 7-yard pass from Olvera to J.Q. Davis, just a back out of the flat. So it's going to be 3rd down. That's not a really good spot there. 3rd down and a long, 2?
Long 2.
2 receivers right, 2 to the left. Olvera brings one man in motion right to left. Takes the snap, hands it to J.Q. Davis. He'll be hit behind the line of scrimmage. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but he'll be short. The Mavericks will be after punt.
Yeah, those 2 defenders, when he got the football, they were right there on top of him, and he didn't have a chance. Just the Texas High front group there, they broke through, and just no gain for the Mavericks. That's going to set up a 3. That's going to make a 3 and out for the Maverick offense on this opening possession.
Not what you wanted if you're Marshall offensively. The Mavericks will have to punt with 10:47 to go here in the first quarter. We're scoreless from Texarkana. So Buck Buchanan, Boomer Buck, will be standing back on his 20-yard line. Perfect snap to Buck. Here comes the kick. Great kick. It'll be taken right at the 24-yard line. The man will come to the outside. Should be a block in the back. No call there. He'll go out of bounds at about the 41. Let's see, maybe 42.
I tell you what, and not to be discouraged, as you recall last week, our first offensive possession was disastrous. We lost 7 yards on that opening possession. Jacksonville got the ball, went down, scored, and then, of course, we know what happened after that. So early in the game, defense need to make a stop here, and let's get the football back for the offense.
McHenry in the shotgun, a back. Stewart to his right. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Ball from the right hash. 1st and 10 Tigers. They'll hand it off to Stewart going to the outside. He'll be met in the hole after he picks up about 3. They're going to mark it at the 44.
As Jaquan McCoy there, the initial contact, he met him just beyond the line of scrimmage and holds him to a 3-yard gain on the first play from scrimmage for the Tigers.
So 2 receivers will be split wide left, 1 to the right. Ball middle of the field, up back right for the Tigers. McHenry will be in the shotgun. Now he'll motion him left with Stewart right behind him. A little swing pass to the outside to Stewart. Marshall comes up, not able to make the tackle before he picks up a first down. They'll mark it right at the Maverick 48.
I set it out there in the flat, and I say the defenders just couldn't fight off the blocks, and the receiver there for the Tigers, he was able to get just beyond the first down marker, and that's going to move the chain for the Tigers.
1st and 10 Texarkana from the Maverick 48-yard line. 1 receiver split wide each side. McHenry in the shotgun with a back to his left. The Mavericks walk 5 men up on the front. They'll hand it off to Stewart. He'll make one man miss, goes to the outside. He'll pick up about 6.
Pretty good run to the left side of he kind of broke off the left tackle and got most of those yards kind of on his own. Looked like I think that may have been Davis on the initial contact there.
Yeah, we give him 5 there on the play, so it'll bring 2nd down and 5 for the Tigers from the Maverick 43-yard line. 3 receivers right, none to the left. McHenry in the shotgun with Stewart to his right, standing at midfield. Takes the snap. He'll hand it off to Stewart. Nope, he's going to tuck it, throw it across the middle. Tackle will be made there. That should be short of the first down.
It's going to be real close. That was Henry Roth on the coverage and on the tackle on that play. It looks like it's going to be right at the chains.
They're going to give him a first down. I tell you, that spot is generous so far tonight. There's no way he picked up that first down, but he got it. So 1st and 10 Tigers quickly to the line of scrimmage. They'll hand it to McHenry. Big hole across the middle. Marshall slow to fill. And they'll take it down inside the 35 to the 34.
Tigers have got some big boys up front. Measured them up. You take the average on that front five there. They're averaging 264 pounds. So some big bodies moving that front group for the Mavericks.
So that'll be a 5-yard pickup there for Stewart. Marshall's got to do something at that line of scrimmage. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Ball middle of the field. McHenry in the shotgun. Stewart to his left. He's going to take it. Hands it to Stewart going over the left side. He'll drag a Maverick with him down to the 25. And right now it's 5, 6, 7 yards a tote.
And you can see Stewart, he's getting the ball, and he's just almost kind of hesitating, waiting for that hole to open up. And then he just steps right through it, and he's getting 5, 6, 7 yards a tote right now.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ball on the right hash. 7:50 to go in the first. We're scoreless from Texarkana. McHenry in the shotgun. He'll have a back to his right. Now they'll walk up with a lot of guys at the line of scrimmage. They're giving it to McHenry going left side in a huge hole. I mean, everybody just gets blown away for Marshall. It's a gain of 10.
Tell you what, a big block out there by number 77, Jaquan McCullough. He came out there on the, I can't tell if that was the linebacker or the corner, but he just blew him out, and that just extended that run for Stewart.
That's 4 first downs on this drive. This is the 9th play of the drive for Texarkana. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. McHenry will hand it off to Stewart again, going over right side, and he'll be hit at the line of scrimmage there. He'll fall forward for a couple.
Wilder there on the tackle for the Mavericks. Say that's still almost a 3-yard gain on that play.
Does a good job, Stewart, of falling forward after the initial contact. Gets an extra yard every play. So we go under the 7-minute mark here at Texarkana. Nothing in the first. 2nd down and about 6 for the Tigers inside the Austin Bank red zone. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. McHenry will be in the shotgun. Stewart to his right. They'll bring one man in motion right to left. He'll stop right behind the tackle. They're going to hand it to Stewart going over left side. They found something over there they like. Shoestring tackle at the 10. They'll mark him at the 8.
He's got a big 290-pound tackle over there. It's probably what he likes. So it's going to be 3rd and probably a long 2 here for the Tigers. It'll be interesting to see if this Maverick defense can stop them. Hallsville last week was successful in stopping them as they kicked 3 field goals and were successful. So let's see if this Maverick defense can do the same.
Big play here early for Marshall. 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. We're scoreless. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. 3rd down and 2 from the Maverick 8. Oh, they got false start there, and the Mavericks are going to get a break.
That will be a huge, that'll push the ball back 5 yards. That's going to make it 3rd and 7 instead of 3rd and 2. That kind of changes the game here. Play calling for sure. Now,
what I think you're going to see here, Glenn, those quick slants are coming. They like to run those, and this is the perfect place to do that. The ball will be spotted right at the, 13?
That'll be the 13-yard line. I say the way they're running the football, they may be in 4-down territory here, so I certainly don't take my eye off the run for sure.
3 receivers to the right, none to the left. Ball spotted on the left side of the field. We go under 7 seconds on the play clock. They may not get this one off. They're going to have to call a timeout. Texarkana is going to take a timeout. Folks, will take one with them. 5:38 to play in the first. We're scoreless from Texarkana. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, back here at Texarkana, we've got the Mavericks looking at a 3rd and about 7 for Texas High. They've got it inside the Austin Bank red zone right at the 13-yard line. Glenn, this is the biggest play so far of this young football game.
It is indeed. I'd say the front 5 there for the Mavericks, front 7 if you want to say, including the linebackers. Got to make a stop here. We're losing the battle in the trenches. They're pushing our guys around. We've got to get a stop here, and this is the time to turn the momentum back in the Mavericks' favor.
McHenry will be in the shotgun. Stewart to his left from the left hash. Has 3 receivers split wide right. McHenry takes it. He drops back looking to pass. Here's one of those. Oh, is wide open in the corner of the end zone, and he throws it out of the end zone, and it's incomplete, but he was wide open. McHenry just missed him.
I think he may have ran a little wheel route. Somebody missed him, but you're exactly right. If he throws that ball just a little shorter, that's 6 points. He just sailed it. I think the throw sailed on the quarterback, McHenry, and the receiver unable to keep the feet in. So victory here for the Mavericks going to be just to settle for a field goal attempt.
Yeah, he was looking for Blake Rogers in the end zone, and there wasn't anybody within 8 yards of him. just missed him. So from the left hash, here comes about a 30-yard field goal. Low snap. They do get the kick up, and it is good. So with 5:27 left to play in the first quarter, our score from Texarkana, the Tigers 3, the Mavericks nothing. Stay with us. We'll be right back. You're listening to Marshall Maverick Football on the Heartbeat of East Texas. Well, folks, welcome back here to Texarkana. The Maverick defense stiffens in the Austin Bank red zone, and Texarkana only gets 3. So our score at the 5:27 mark of the first quarter, it's Texarkana 3, Marshall nothing on a 30-yard field goal on an 11-play, 51-yard drive from the Tigers. So here comes the kick from Texas High, left to right. Hopefully the Mavericks will cover this one a little better than the last one. Here's the kick. It's going to be an onside pooch kick. Marshall comes up, and they miss it again. And they're going to give it away. Bo Burris not able to make the catch, and they'll turn it over.
I tell you what, they just, I say, a little pooch kick that went maybe 15 yards just over the front 5 there that's lined up at the 50, and Burris came up and couldn't quite get the handle on it, and he got popped.
So we're going to take a break. We got a man down on the field. It'll be Texas High ball right at the 50 when we come back. Stay with us. You're listening to Marshall Maverick Football on the Heartbeat of East Texas.
13,000 financial advisors, $850 billion in assets under care. How did Edward Jones become one of the biggest financial service companies in the country? By not acting that way. Financial strategies, one-on-one advice, it's a big difference. And it's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing. Experience the difference for yourself. Call 1-800-ED-JONES or visit edwardjones.com for a financial advisor in Marshall. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC.
I just don't know what I'm going to do about Mom. She fell last week, forgot her meds this morning. What's next?
My friend told me about Premier Home Care. They can help with all the medical needs, and it's covered.
Are they good? What's their number?
Here, it's Premier Home Care at 753-CARE or 753-2273. Call so they can help Mom.
Okay, 753-2273.
With Premier Home Care, your health is your choice.
Well, welcome back here to Texarkana. 5:23 to go here in the first quarter. The Mavericks turn it over again on the kickoff. That's 2 fumbled, muffed kickoffs for Marshall. They kept one. They lost the second. So the Tigers will hold on to it at the Marshall 49-yard line. 5:23 to play here in the first quarter. Maverick defense got to get a stop here. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. McHenry in the shotgun with a man to his right. Takes the snap. They'll hand it off going up the middle to the outside. He'll make one man miss, still on his feet. Ball's out.
Yeah, they got it back. It came out. The Mavericks had a chance to get it back, and number 9, that's going to be Blake Rogers. He pounces on the ball, and it's going to end up being about a 6-yard gain, 5-yard gain for Texas High on first down.
Yeah, the Mavericks have got to get more physical up front. They're really getting pushed around in the trenches. So second down, a long 5 for Texas High. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Stewart will be in the shotgun. McHenry will be in the shotgun. Stewart will be to his right. He has eaten us up so far. They'll hand it to him on a stretch play going left. He'll be met at the line of scrimmage by Big Seabiscuit, and he will only gain a yard.
Yeah, it was Seabiscuit and Trey Adams, number 99. They get him for not much of a gain. It's going to set up a 3rd and 4 for the Tigers. The Mavericks defense needs to hold here.
Quickly to the line of scrimmage for the Tigers. 3rd and 4. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. That should have been motion there on Texas High.
3 play. Intercepted. That's going to come back. The Mavericks going to be offsides.
That should have been illegal motion.
Well, they would have. I think they would have blown the play dead had had been an offensive foul. It's going to be the Mavericks in the neutral zone. They had a free play, threw it up. Montana Warren intercepts it. But this is going to move the ball. It's going to be first down, Texas High.
That should not be on us because we got back before the ball was snapped. That's a terrible call. I mean, that's a bad call. We have the opportunity to get back before the ball is snapped. We did, and they moved. That should have been illegal motion. That is a terrible call.
I say as long as the adjacent offensive lineman doesn't react to you moving into the neutral zone, but like I say, if he's moving back and gets back, that should not have been an offsides on the Mavericks. But that's not the way the officials saw it.
So 1st and 10 on the gift to Texas High. He'll be hit behind the line of scrimmage here. McHenry or Stewart will lose a yard. They'll mark him at the 39.
That was Javon Wilder on the tackle. He broke loose there and made him actually going to be a 1-yard loss for the Tigers.
That's their first negative play of the game as we go under 4 minutes in the first. It's 3-0 Texas High. 2 receivers split wide to the left, 1 to the right. McHenry in the shotgun on 2nd and 11. He'll take the snap. Stewart moved again there, no call. He'll be hit right at the line of scrimmage. He'll gain maybe 2. It'll bring up 3rd down and 9.
That's Terrell Davis on the tackle there. Say just about a 2-yard gain. It's going to set up 3rd and 9. Probably a passing situation here with the strong arm McHenry at quarterback. Most definitely probably going to see a pass here on 3rd and 9. If
you'll watch Stewart, he falls forward before the ball is snapped. That should be illegal motion as he's moving towards the line of scrimmage. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. McHenry in the shotgun. He fakes the handoff, looking to pass. Seabiscuit right there on him. Now Marshall giving chase. McHenry going to the outside. He'll make one man miss, but not the second one, and he'll be hit for a loss of a yard back to the 38-yard line.
Yeah, I think he's going to be back at the original line of scrimmage. That's going to set up a 4th and 10. Just outside of field goal range, so it'll be interesting to see. I guess Texas High, they are going to punt it away and try to put the Mavericks deep in their own territory.
Maverick defense really needed to get a stop there after that questionable 1st down gift, but they got it. So 2:37 to play here. The Tigers will punt from the Marshall 38-yard line. Back deep, Chichi Roberson. He'll stand at his 10. Here's the snap back. Here's the punt. It's going to be a good punt. This one's going to be short. Chichi comes up, makes the catch right about the 18, and that's where, right about the 14.
That's 12. I think he's going to probably put him, they are going to put him at the 14.
So that's where the Mavericks will start, and we need to put some points on the board here, Glenn Bickerdike.
Well, points certainly would be that's the ultimate goal, but we need to move the football. Our defense has been, other than 3 plays, we're 2:24 left in the first quarter, and our defense has been out there for every play except 3.
So here we go. Marshall's offense will start from the left hash. 2 receivers split wide to the right, 1 to the left. In man-to-man out here is going to be the big man, Smith. Olvera in the shotgun. He'll take the snap, fakes the handoff, is going to throw it out here. It's got a man across the middle. Great catch.
That was Bo Burris on the wide out. He makes a great catch and gets popped like he's down on the ground again. But he's getting up on his own, maybe just knocked the breath out of him. But that's going to be the best offensive play thus far for the Mavericks.
Great catch. They'll mark it all the way up to what?
It's going to be a 9-yard gain. It's going to be just a yard short of the 1st down marker.
I mean, and that's really just a hair short because they need it. No, they're going to give him a 1st down. They're going to give him 10. Yeah, I didn't know how that couldn't be a 1st down. So it'll be the Mavericks' first down of the football game. They'll hand it off coming out here. A lot of room for J.Q. Davis. He makes one man miss to the 30, to the 35, 40, to the 45, still on his feet, and they're going to call Marshall for holding. I don't know about that one either. The umpire here on the Texas High side is going to flag Marshall for holding.
Well, of course. I did not see any holding at the point of contact. It's like a hold developed there. They are going to move them back. A great run by Davis. Also want to point out another great downfield block by Ja'Cory Smith to allow him to pick up some additional yards, which ultimately is going to be called back.
Yeah, they called that on him. They called that on Ja'Cory Smith, number 18.
Well, if they did.
No, they called that on AP. I'm sorry.
Because Ja'Cory, he was down here to the 40-yard line. He was pushing his guy back just like he did last week against Jacksonville with 2 great downfield blocks that led to touchdowns.
Well, another questionable call here early goes against the Mavericks, and it drops them all the way back to the 15-yard line. So it's going to be 1st down and 20 for Marshall. 3 receivers split wide to the right. Olvera in the shotgun. He's got a man to his right. Takes the snap. He'll roll right. It's going to buy him some time. Gets to the outside. Throws this one up. That should have been pass interference. There it is.
Pass interference. That was number 4. That's Jalen Jones. I believe he's the one. But no, he's not the one with the interception. But he comes over the back, and that's going to be an automatic 1st down for the Maverick offense on the 15-yard pass interference penalty.
Yeah, looking there for number 9, Javion Morrow. He had position kind of like in basketball, so that'll be an automatic 1st down after they mark the 15 off. It ought to put the ball right about the 30. Reggie's going to say 31, and he is correct.
That's right where they're going to place it. They say coming out of that hole of 1st and 20 after that holding penalty. That is a great break for the Mavericks, and let's see what they can do with it.
So Marshall has 2 first downs there, and only 1 play has been recorded. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Olvera in the shotgun. Texas High walks up a man. They bring pressure, so we've got a guy out there. He throws this one up. Going to be a little bit overthrown, looking for Burris.
I kind of took a deep breath there. That ball kind of floated, sailed on Olvera. Those usually things like that don't turn out good when you've got good defensive backs, but that sailed on out of bounds, no damage, but it's going to be incomplete. It's going to make it 2nd and 10 for the Maverick offense.
That'll stop the clock with 1:26 to go here in the first quarter. It's 3-0 Texas High. They've had the ball most of this first quarter. So Marshall, 2nd down and 10 from their own 31. Stack formation right in wide receivers, 1 to the left. Olvera takes the snap. He's going to throw this little quick one to the outside. Got some blocks out there for Chi-Chi to the 35-40, and they're going to call another holding penalty.
They're going to holding. I don't agree with that. He's pushing him, and the line judge over there, linesman, he's going to throw a holding penalty on Ja'Cory Smith. That was good downfield blocking.
Yeah, I've already gotten one text message from a Maverick fan that says this is called getting Texarkana'd, which is correct. We've not gotten any home help tonight. And Coach Greedle is livid. That was right in front of our bench. That was not a hold. That was a really good block.
Give him 6 on the pass.
So the Mavs get penalized again after the 6-yard pass completion.
2 10-yard holding penalties, not good for this offense.
So far we've had too much involvement from the people with stripes.
Yeah, let's let the kids play the game.
So 2nd down and 15 now for Marshall, all the way back to the 26. Olvera in the shotgun, 3 receiver stack formation left for Marshall. Bo Burris will be out there on his own on the right. There's the snap, drops back, being pressured here. He's going to get this one away, and it's going to be picked off.
He threw that one into double, maybe triple coverage, and the defensive back for Texas High, he steps right in front of Ja'Cory Smith and picks it off, and going to set the Texas High offense back up in business deep in Maverick territory, inside the 30, looks like.
So 53 seconds to go here in the half, or in the quarter, and Texas High is going to have the football for the 3rd time on Marshall's side of the field. Tell you what, that really hurts your offense when you have somebody that continues to take away your momentum, and that just happened time and time again on that series. So McHenry will be in the shotgun. He'll have 1-man Stewart to his right, 2 receivers split wide to the right, 1 to the left. They'll bring 1 man in motion right to left. They'll stop him right there at the tackle. They're going to hand it off to Stewart going over that left side. He's making a living. He'll walk into the end zone. 10-5 touchdown. Nobody touched him until he got to the 5, and they are wearing out that right side of Marshall's defensive line.
They've got some big boys on the left side of their offensive line, and they are just dominating the Mavericks' front 3 there.
So Texas High takes the interception. They capitalize early, and it's 9-0 with 46 seconds to play here in the first quarter. It's been all Texas High so far, with a little sprinkling in there of the referees. So that was motion there, no call. It was the snap back, kick is up, and it is good. So our new score, 46 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Texas High 10, Marshall nothing. Stay with us. You're listening to Maverick Football on the Heartbeat of East Texas. So welcome back here to Texas High. The Community Health Corps touchdown goes to the Tigers. 1 play, 29-yard run from Stewart after the Olvera interception set them up 1st and 10 from the Maverick 29. Your Cal Dansby scoring recap. And so far, Glenn, Marshall's offense not able to do anything here tonight.
Well, as you mentioned, I think the officiating is kind of taking them out of the rhythm. That I didn't see what they called the holding on the first one, but the second one, Smith's blocking downfield. That defender's not trying to get away from him. He's driving him, and he calls it a holding. It was, I thought, was very lame and just kind of disrupted the flow of our offense.
So here comes the next pooch kick from Texarkana. Marshall's going to call a fair catch at the 35-yard line. 36-yard line, says Reggie Cooper. So that's where the Marshall Mavericks will start. Got to score here. Got to keep pace.
Well, we've seen several mistakes early by the Maverick team. One thing that's just been solid for us all year has been special teams. Kick return has cost us a possession, and then the interception on that last drive. It's time for the Maverick offense to find a little rhythm here and get something clicking.
So one receiver split wide to the right, two to the left. Olvera will be in the shotgun. He'll have J.Q. Davis to his left on 1st and 10. 10-0 Texarkana. Olvera takes it. He fakes the handoff. Got to throw across the middle. It's going to be overthrown. Had a man looking for AP.
They moved Connor Haggerty to the right side of the offensive line, and they had AP on the tight end just over the guard, and they sent him right up the seam, trying to isolate him on that linebacker, and just unable to complete the pass.
A little bit high for Olvera. So it'll fall incomplete. 2nd down and 10 for Marshall. Stops the clock. 41 seconds to play in the first quarter. It's 10-0 Texas High. Two receivers left, one to the right. Olvera in the shotgun. J.Q. Davis to his left. He's going to hand it to him. Ooh, he makes one man miss at the line of scrimmage. He'll keep his feet. He'll cross the 38.
Yeah, going to get about to the 38. It's going to be a 2-yard gain. It's going to set up a 3rd and 8 for the Maverick offense here. Got to have a conversion on 3rd down.
Marshall just not able to move the ball here much early. So it's going to bring up 3rd down and 8. The Mavericks desperately need to get a 1st down here. They do not need to give the ball back to Texas High. They're going to let the clock run out here in the first quarter, says Reggie Cooper, and he's right. And that will do it for the first quarter from Grimm Stadium. Our score, Texarkana 10, Marshall nothing. Stay with us. We'll be right back. You're listening to Marshall Maverick Football on the heartbeat of East Texas.
And then Olvera, he just sails it over his head, about 10 yards over his head, nobody even close to it. So it's going to be a punting situation for the Mavericks.
So far, not good on the punting front. Marshall, this is going to be their 2nd punt of the night. 2 punts and an interception and a fumble. That's not a good way to start. So Palmer will be deep snapping, a little bit low to Buchanan, makes the pick up. Here comes the punt, high punt. Fair catch called for at the 25. And that's where they'll start.
Yeah, he caught it and then took a step or two. I think the Maverick defender thought maybe he was going to run with it. He didn't hit him, but just kind of wrapped him up like they were dancing a little bit. So need a big stop here by the big red wall.
Yeah, can't get down 17-0. If you get down 17-0, I'm not sure we can claw our way back. That'd be a huge deficit here early. So again, we've got 11:46 to go here in the half, and it's Texarkana 10, Marshall nothing, and they'll start with the football at their own 25-yard line. One receiver to the right, two to the left. McHenry will be in the shotgun. Stewart to his left. Takes the snap, hands it to Stewart up the middle, big hole. He'll pick up 5, maybe 6.
He's going to be right at the 30. That's Gico Smith on the tackle for a 5-yard gain. Not Smith, Gico McCoy.
Mavericks they got to walk people up. They're playing those linebackers off. They got to get off that three-man front's getting smoked. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. 4-man front for the Mavericks. Are going to hand it to Stewart again. He'll be hit behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard, maybe 2. They'll mark him back at the 28.
As Combs on the tackle, number 8, he breaks through and makes a solo tackle. Nice play for the Maverick defense. Actually going to be about a 1-yard loss, looks like.
Yeah, they'll actually get a 2-yard loss. Well, they're going to put it at the 29. It should have been at the 28. They'll put it at the 29. So it'll bring up 3rd and 6. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Snap back. McHenry's going to roll to his left. Has a lot of time. He throws this one out, and it'll fall incomplete. And they'll turn it over.
Yeah, that one just kind of fluttered out. Buck Buchanan was on the coverage there. He was on his man all over him, and no chance for the completion. And it's going to be a 3-and-out for the Tiger offense.
Sometimes you wonder why coaches roll their quarterback who's right-handed left. That's a really hard pass to make.
Especially in high school.
Yeah, and he sailed it way over the head of the intended receiver. So Marshall's defense gets that much-needed stop. Let's see if Chi-Chi Roberson can get a spark here. Let's see if we can get a return. The punter will be standing back at his 15. Here's the snap is back. The punt's going to be a short punt. It will hit Oh, and it's a great bounce for Texas High. Get away from that, Chi-Chi. He'll jump on it at the 22. That was a dangerous play.
I guess I don't understand that you saw there. It appeared that the Mavericks were in a return mode. They had their guys on the line, had 3 guys about 5 yards deep. And when the Tigers released down the field, they just let them run right by them. Didn't even attempt to put a block on them and slow it down to give Robertson the opportunity to return it. That's something I hope we look at the film this week and say, guys, if you're going to watch the game, buy a ticket. Otherwise, let's block.
So that'll bring up 1st and 10 for Marshall, trailing 10-0 at the 10:34 mark here in the half from their own 22-yard line. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Olvera in the shotgun, takes the snap. He's going to hand it to JQ going over left side. Got some room out there. He gets the corner to the 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Cuts back inside, and that's where they'll mark it. What a run from JQ Davis.
That's 28-yard run for Davis, and he caught the corner, and he just hit the Jets. And nice gain for the Maverick offense.
It'll be a 1st and 10 for the Mavericks right at midfield with 10:16 to play in the half. Again, the Mavs trail 10-0. A score here would be big for the Mavericks. 1 receiver right, 2 to the left. Up back right, AP in that position. Olvera in the shotgun, Davis to his left. We'll bring a man in motion right to left. Now we're going to split out JQ Davis. No backs in the backfield. Texarkana brings pressure. We got a man across the middle. It's Smith at the 20 to the 15 to the 10. Great catch from Smith. 1st and goal, Marshall.
Tell you what, you isolate Smith one-on-one with pretty much anybody in this league, and he's going to be victorious. And he just had a step on him. And with that long frame, that 6'4", body, he just makes the grab, and he pushes it down to the 11-yard line, and the Maverick offense is in business.
39-yard pitch and catch. Marshall in the Austin Bank red zone at the 11. They can pick up a 1st down without scoring. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Olvera in the shotgun with Davis to his right at about the 16. They'll hand it to Davis going to the outside. He'll make one man miss. He'll get the corner to the 10, to the 5, still on his feet, and he'll score. Touchdown, JQ Davis.
A penalty. They don't throw a holding. That back judge throws a penalty. He's going to call holding. And the linesman was right there on top of it. He's going to make that call from the back of the end zone.
I don't see a flag.
There's a flag over there at the 5-yard line.
Well, he must have taken it off because they're not calling a flag. Marshall's, oh, my gosh, holding. What a terrible call. We are getting hometown, folks. I mean, you can write that one on the wall. That's terrible. Holy smokes, moves them all the way back to the 16. A great run from JQ Davis. That is really, really bad. So 1st and goal now, Marshall all the way back to the 16. That's the same official that's called every holding call tonight.
And he's on our sideline.
That is really bad. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Olvera in the shotgun, JQ Davis to his right. Bring 1 man in motion. He'll roll to his right, looking to pass, has a man out there. It'll be caught by AP. What a catch. And he'll be knocked out of bounds at around the 11, then maybe, or the 12.
That was a great catch by Phillips. He just stuck that left paw out there, and he pulls it out of the air, and nice gain. He's going to move it down to almost back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be a 2nd and 11 from the 12.
Going to be a 4-yard catch there. And Marshall should already be on the board. 10-0, 9:12 to play. And the Mavericks are really having a hard time tonight. 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. 2nd and goal from the 12. Olvera in the shotgun, takes it, drops back. Here comes pressure. He'll roll to his right and buy himself some time. They're going to call another penalty.
They're going to call another holding penalty on the Mavericks.
That is unbelievable.
Personal foul.
They're going to call a chop block.
Number 55 and number 4. 15-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That is huge.
Holy smokes. Y'all are going to have to take me to Rusk before this game's over with.
Maybe it happened. I didn't see it, but it almost looks as if they're trying to find everything in the world to call on the Mavericks. See how they can move us back up the field.
So that puts the ball all the way back to the 27-yard line. My mama told me if I can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. So 2nd down and a bunch. The Mavericks got to get all the way down to the 1 to get a 1st down. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Olvera in the shotgun, takes a snap, drops back, has some time, is going to throw this one out to Ja'Cory Smith and makes the catch at the 11. Great catch.
And believe it or not, there are no flags on this play. Davis does make a nice catch. Big gainer for the Mavericks. Back to the original line of scrimmage once again.
So a 16-yard pickup there for Olvera. It'll be 3rd down and 10 for Marshall from the 11. They can get a first down without scoring. The ball just outside the 10. They're back in the Austin Bank red zone. Trailing 10-0 with 8:30 to play. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Olvera in the shotgun. Takes the snap, drops back, pressure. It's going to throw this one across the. Oh, that should be pass interference.
Nothing.
Oh, my goodness. No call on a blatant pass interference in the end zone.
Ja'Cory Smith literally got mugged. 2 officials looking in at it and no flag.
Wow. That was clearly pass interference in the end zone, so Marshall will be forced to try a field goal. I mean, this is one, I would send this tape in, I think. And we're not to halftime yet. 8:24 to play. 10-0 our score as Buck Buchanan will try a field goal. Snap is back, hold is down, kick is up, and it's good. And that's going to be a, what? Where was that from, Glenn?
From the left, it's going to be a 28-yard field goal, I believe.
28-yard field goal from Buck Buchanan. We're going to keep it right here. It should be a 3-point game at this point. It's going to be a 7-point game, and I'm telling you, you might think we're belly aching at the house. We're really not belly aching in this one.
Well, it's all of our listeners know, Chase, that you do that each and every week.
I can belly ache.
The Mavericks never get penalized, and they kind of expect it from you. But I'm telling you, I'm up here seeing it. It almost looks like they're looking for stuff to call on the Mavericks. You have an obvious pass interference right there at the goal line for everybody to see. The officials look at each other, no flag.
So that's a 4-play drive, Reggie Cooper. How many yards was that? Started at our 22, ended at the 11.
87?
87 yards. Okay, we'll take an 87-yard drive. So the Mavericks back in at 10-3 with 8:19 to play here in the half. Marshall's defense needs to get another stop, but my goodness, if we're going to call it, let's at least call it both ways here.
Just let the kids play.
Texarkana been penalized once tonight so far. So Marshall will be kicking from their own 40-yard line. They'll be moving left to right on your radio dial. Texas High's got everybody up. Interesting. Now they'll drop 2 back. If they've seen Buck kick, this is probably not going to be returnable. 10-3 our score. After that field goal from Buck Buchanan. Here comes the kick, and he'll kick it out the back of the end zone. The guy back there said, I'm not messing with that.
Yeah, that was about 68 yards in the air.
So
8 yards deep into the end zone.
So 4 plays, 87 yards, a 28-yard field goal from Buck Buchanan makes it 10-3. It's your Kyle Dansby scoring recap. Those first half stats or first quarter stats were brought to you by Brad Burris, Century 21, a select group. We'll see if the Maverick defense can get a stop here. 10-3, new ball game with 8:19 to play here in the half. Marshall's defense needs a stop. 3 receivers split wide right. McHenry in the shotgun, Stewart to his left. They'll bring a man in motion left to right. Snap is back. They're going to hand it to Stewart coming out here left side. Huge hole. And he'll make one man miss, stay on his feet. He'll take it up to the 28.
And given the 29, Montana Warren came in from the corner position, kind of turned that back inside. Otherwise, it might have been a bigger gain. And his teammates, like McCoy on the inside there, makes the tackle for a 4-yard gain.
Absolutely terrible spot. Got to the 28, gave him the 29. 2nd down and 6. 3 receivers to the right, none to the left. McHenry in the shotgun, Stewart to his right. Takes the snap, he'll roll left. He's being chased out there by Carson Combs, and that's a sack.
That is a tremendous play by Carson Combs. He fought off 2 blockers and just kind of threw them out of the way, and he goes straight for the quarterback. That's going to be the biggest defensive play for the Mavericks, pushing the Tigers all the way back to their own 19-yard line.
It'll be a loss of about 8, maybe 9. Is it 10, Reggie?
They gave him a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, so loss of 10. That's right.
A 10-yard loss.
So it'll bring up 3rd down and a bunch for the Tigers. 3rd and 16. They've got to get all the way to to their own 35-yard line for a first down. Huge play here for Marshall's defense. 2 receivers right, 2 left. McHenry in the shotgun. He may not get this off. 2-1, he does right before the clock expires. Marshall's got some pressure on him. Might get him again. They gets out of the grasp. He's hit as he throws, and this one's knocked away last minute.
Broke up good. The ball kind of floated there at
McHenry got out of the grasp and had a man open, and he was hit right as the ball got there, so it's incomplete. Great play by Marshall's defense.
Yeah, that was Montana Warren. He was there to kind of break it up. It was a fight for the ball. Obviously not pass interference. I'm sure Texas High was wanting that. Really kind of surprised they didn't get it the way the night's gone.
So let's see what happens here. This could really get us back to moving. 6:51 to play, 10-3 our score. Let's see what Chi-Chi can do here. Will Marshall go to a return? And again, they just let the front gunner come. Chi-Chi's going to field this one on the hop at the 40. Goes to the outside. He will get to the outside to the 45-50.
That's a late hit out of bounds.
That should be a penalty.
There it is. Hey, all right.
Yeah, hit late at the 50, so that'll be a 15-yard penalty. That ought to put us at the 35.
Yep, that's going to move it down to about the 33. They're marking it at the Tiger 48-yard line. That's going to be a 15-yard unnecessary roughness late hit out of bounds against the Tiger punt team.
I'm a little surprised they called that. It was right on the line, but we're due one, so personal foul, late hit. So that's going to be great field position for Marshall. It'll put it inside the 35 at the 33.
See, I think the offense is starting to get a little confidence, getting a little rhythm here. Like I say, we get a touchdown here as we close out the first half here. We've got a tie game.
3 receivers to the right. Olvera in the shotgun with Davis to his right. Takes a snap. He's going to roll out here to pick some time up. Throw back to AP to the 30, to the 25, to the 24. Let's see, they're going to mark him at the 21.
That's going to be a first down. Continue to move the ball.
Well, we're the beneficiary of a bad spot there. They're going to put him at the 20. We'll take it.
Yeah, they upended him. It looks like at about the 23, and he was certainly out of bounds, and almost looks like they marked him where he came down, which was like 3 yards out of bounds.
Throwback screen to Phillips. Big play there. Marshall first down. They're right on the edge of the Austin Bank red zone. 2 receivers left, 1 right. They'll bring AP in motion. They're going to give it to AP going left side. He'll bull his way across the line of scrimmage. He's going to pick up about 3.
Yeah, that was Davis on the carry. That was Phillips was in motion, and he was the lead blocker and handed off to Davis. He's going to pick up 3, make it 2nd and 7.
They'll mark him down to the 17-yard line. So well within the Austin Bank red zone here as we go under 6 minutes to play. Our score, Texas High 10, Marshall 3. Let's see if the Mavericks can put this one in the end zone. 2 receivers split wide to the right, 1 to the left. Phillips up back left. Olvera will be in the shotgun with Davis to his left. Takes a snap, drops back, pumps. Now he's going to throw it to the corner of the end zone. He's got a man there, overthrows it.
Just over there. I believe that was Chi-Chi Robertson. He did an out and up and had a step on the defender, but the ball just beyond his grasp. That was a great call, but just not completely executed.
Well, we got to get a first down here. To get one, we got to get to the 10. So it's 3rd down and about 7 for Marshall. Ball will be spotted on the left hash going in from the Texarkana 17. So let's see what Marshall dials up here. Coach Cup, 3 receivers, stack formation right. 1 left. Olvera in the shotgun with Davis to his right. Takes a snap, drops back. Here comes the Tigers, dumps it out to Davis. He'll make one man miss to the 10, to the 5. They'll mark him at the 6. First down, Marshall.
It's 1st and goal for the Mavericks. Great call. Little throw to the flat, and Davis, he's wide open, and he's able to pick up about another 10 or 12 yards after the catch.
A little screen pass to the outside to Davis. He'll take it down to the 7. It'll be a 17-yard pitch and catch from Olvera to 10. So here we go from JQ. 1st and goal, Marshall from the 7. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. We'll bring 1 man in motion. They're going to give it to Davis on a stretch play, and he'll be hit by the line of scrimmage. Loss of about 4.
I tell you what, Ja'Cory Smith was isolated out there, split wide to the left, 1-on-1 with the cornerback out there on an island. That's a great, if you see that, just change the play there at the line of scrimmage, just throw it up, let him jump for it.
And that'll be a 5-yard loss for Marshall. It'll mark them all the way back to the 12. So Now it's 2nd down and goal from the 12. Marshall really needs to get in the end zone. 10-3 our score with 4:40 to go in the half. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Olvera in the shotgun, ball right in the middle of the field. Davis to his right. Takes the snap, drops back. Here comes Texarkana. He'll step up, makes one man miss. Now he may run. He's going to throw it to the outside. Catch will be made by Chi Roberson. Let's see if they'll mark him at the 5, maybe the 6.
Yeah, it's going to be right there at the original line of scrimmage. I think if Olvera makes that throw a little sooner, it gives him an opportunity to run with it. It might have been a score.
So here's a big play from the 6, back in a manageable position from the right hash. 4:30 to play here in the half. 10-3 our score. Marshall trails Texarkana, but they're knocking on the door in the Austin Bank red zone. So here we go, 3rd down and goal. Big play here for the Maverick offense from the 6. Ball on the right hash. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. That's Smith way out to his left. Davis will go in motion to the left, drops back. Now we got a timeout, Marshall. Yeah, timeout, Marshall. That's a good timeout, Glenn.
Yeah, we've got 3 to spin. We've not used one yet, and we're at 4:27 till halftime. You can't take them in there with you. In this situation, you see Smith out there. I mean, there's him and a defender. So you run a slant, or you just kind of throw it up and let him go up and get it.
Yeah, I think if you run a slant right there, I don't know if that's defensible. I mean, he gets inside position at 6'4". That's going to be a touchdown if the ball is put right on the money. And I think that might be what Coach Greedle saw, and he called a timeout. So this is a huge play here in the football game. And as bad as things went in the first quarter for Marshall, what a turnaround in the second.
You know, our offense, they sputtered just like they did last week in their first possession. I don't know, coming up here on the road and a little intimidated maybe, but they seem to kind of found their moxie, and they're moving the football.
Big play here. We'll set the stage for you. 4:27 to play in the half. 10-3 our score. Texarkana with the lead, but the Mavericks with the ball from the T-high 6. Ball will be spotted right hash. 2 receivers split wide each side as the Mavericks break after the timeout. Olvera in the shotgun. He'll have Davis to his left. Now he'll move him to his right in motion. Drops back, looking across the middle. Pass is there. Touchdown! Touchdown to Davis. He sneaks out, and he scores. That's Chi.
That's Chi Robertson. He found him an open spot just over the goal line, and Olvera was able to pick him up, and pinning the extra point here, we're probably going to have a tie game.
7 plays, 33-yard drive, the 6-yard touchdown pass from Olvera to Chi Roberson. And it's a brand new football game with 4:22 to play in the half. My goodness, what a turnaround for Marshall's offense as we await the point after. Snap is back, hold is down, kick is up, and it is over. Well, it's way over there. I think it hit the flagpole or something.
The cell tower over on the next block.
So, folks, we got ourselves a football game. 4:22 to play in the half. The Mavericks tied up at 10. Stay with us. You're listening to Marshall Maverick Football on the heartbeat of East Texas. Well, folks, welcome back. That Community Health Corps touchdown. Marshall goes 7 plays, 33 yards on 3rd and goal from the 6. They get the TD, 6-yard pass from Olvera to Chi Roberson. And it's a brand new football game as we're tied at 10. You hear the Marshall fans on their feet. The horns and the cowbells are out. Here comes an onside kick from Buck Buchanan, and that's going to get taken by the Tigers at the 46.
I tell you what, I don't know that I understand that. Mavericks tried to pull a little trick play on special teams that we've not seen this year. They're all huddled up there, and Buck Buchanan just turned around and he kicks it. Pretty good kick, but it's pretty much him against about 3 defenders, and they're ready for it, and they fall on it, and the Tigers are going to have it at the 45-yard line rather than kicking it through the end zone like we've been doing all season. And so basically a 20-yard advance for the Tigers.
Well, let's see if the defense can hold here. One receiver split wide each side. McHenry in the shotgun, Stewart to his right. They're going to hand it to Stewart going outside, makes one man miss. He'll cross the 50. He'll take it down to the 47. And that may come back to bite the Mavs. That's going to be a gain of about 7.
Well, like I say, I know sometimes you got to try stuff and try to get some momentum, but I think it shifted in our favor, and now it's gone back the other way.
McHenry in the shotgun, one receiver each side. They're going to hand it off. He'll be hitting the backfield. No, he's going to keep it on the quarterback keeper. He'll take it over the 45. He'll take it down to the 40. Goodness gracious, McHenry just pulled that out at the last second. He'll take it all the way down to the 40 and be a first down. 3:49 to play here in the half. 10-10 our score. But the Tigers driving after the onside kick did not convert for the Mavericks. That might come back and sting us. 3 receivers left. McHenry in the shotgun. Taking their time here on this possession. 1st and 10 from the Maverick 40. 4-man front for the Mavericks. Snap is back to Stewart. He's coming to the outside. Big hole. That's holding. No call there. Stewart's going to be brought down as he goes inside the 35 to the 34. Clearly a holdout here, but no call.
Yeah, LaTravian Jackson on the defensive end position. He kind of went inside and they just ran around him. He didn't keep his containment. I don't know if there should have been a linebacker there, but he gets outside for a 7-yard gain.
They gave him the 33. He got to the 34. He didn't get to the 33. One receiver split wide each side. Marshall in trouble now. 2nd and 3. 10-10 our score. They'll hand it to Stewart. Nope. McHenry's going to keep it to the outside, and he's going to be tackled after he crosses the 30 down to the 20. Should be the 27.
Yes, Davis and Buchanan there on the tackle, but it's going to move the chains again for the Tigers.
Yeah, that onside kick might cause us some problems because they would have had to go 75, and now they're having to go short field. So 1st and 10. 1st and 10 here for the Tigers. McHenry shotgun, man to his right, drops back and hand it to Stewart. He'll be hit behind the line of scrimmage. Huge loss.
I tell you what, the Maverick, the guys up front, they're starting to kind of get through those gaps there, and they were in the backfield before he got the ball. That's going to be another nice loss for the Tiger offense. It's going to push them back about 4 yards.
We'll spot him at the 32-yard line, so we'll go under 2 minutes to play in the half, tied at 10. Texas High with the football. 3 receivers split wide to the right. Texas High taking a lot of time here. They'll start with the football second half. McHenry in the shotgun. Really need to keep him out here are the Mavericks. 4-man front. McHenry looking to throw. Marshall with some pressure. The throw is caught at the 20.
Big tight end, the target number 18, Nate Minnie. He's 6'4", 220-pound tight end. He's covered by Buck Buchanan. He makes the tackle right after the catch, but it's actually going to be just a tad short. It's going to be 3rd and 1.
Big play here for Marshall's defense. Really need to get a stop as we go under 1:26 to play. McHenry shotgun. To his left is Stewart. They're going to hand it to him. Nope. McHenry, he makes one man miss. I don't think he's going to get the first down where they mark it.
He's going to put him right at the chains, and they're stopping the clock, so I think they're going to move. Yep. Whitehead is giving the first down signal. We're at clock. They didn't even stop it for the first down. You would think home scorekeeper would stop the clock, and it's still rolling.
Marshall's got to keep him out of the end zone, at least limit them to 3 here as we go under a minute to play. 3 receivers left, 1st and 10. McHenry with the snap. He's going to hand it off to Stewart. He'll be hit there at the line of scrimmage. He'll gain him about 3.
Yeah, Davis, he meets him right there at the line of scrimmage, but Stewart's able to carry him forward for 2, maybe 3 yards on that play. Down inside of about 40 seconds till a half.
3 receivers left, 2nd down as we go under 40 seconds. McHenry will send one man in motion left to right, tied at 10. They're going to take it. They're going to hand it off to Stewart going over left side. He'll take it under the 10. He'll take it down to the 8. And that'll stop the clock.
That's short of the first down. They're stopping the clock.
They gave him the first down. That's horrendous.
If that's it, I think we got a timeout.
They gave him the first down?
Yeah, and I tell you what, where he's the wing official over there, the linesman, he's got it spot clearly short, and they're giving him the first down, not even measuring it.
Wow. I mean, that really is something. Now, I tell you what, not to play second guess, but, man, if we could have back that onside kick, I bet we'd take it. That was That may cost us a 7-point swing
Well,
here.
I know at times you've got to try stuff to maybe try to get that extra possession, but you just got the momentum. You got the best kicker in probably Texas. Kick that thing, pin them out, make them drive at the length of the field here to close out the half, because as we know, we're going to kick it again to start the second half. They more than likely going to get at least 3 here. If they get 7,
we got to keep them out.
Got to keep them out here.
26.8 seconds left to go in the half. We're tied at 10. One receiver split wide each side, and I mean wide all the way out beyond the numbers. McHenry in the shotgun from the 8, first and goal Tigers. Takes the snap, hands it off. Nope, he's going to keep it to the outside. Will McHenry get in? He will. And Marshall's going to give up a touchdown with 19 seconds to play in the half. Had back all the momentum, and that is problematic for Marshall because Texas High starts with the football.
Just handed it right back to them. Golly.
Yeah, this ought to be a 10-10 game at the half, for sure. And the Mavericks turn the ball back and give it back to them on a short field, and here we go as we await the point after. Snap back, hold down, kick up, it's good. And with 19 seconds to play in the half, our new score, Texas High 17, Marshall 10. Stay with us. You're listening to Marshall Maverick Football on the Heartbeat. 17-10. Stay with us. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. We'll give you those halftime stats, and we'll let you listen to a little bit of the Big Red Prides. You're listening to Marshall Maverick Football on the Heartbeat of East Texas.
'" Marshall ISD athletics programs help students achieve the highest level of success both on and off the field by challenging them to grow physically, intellectually, emotionally, and socially. Our athletes have access to state-of-the-art training facilities, providing them with top-tier tools needed to be successful. MISD has a rich history of developing talented athletes that have proven to be successful at the college and professional levels. Come play at Marshall ISD and find out why we take pride in our past and promise for our future.
Well, folks, welcome back here to Texas High Grimm Stadium. The Mavericks trail Texas High 17-10 at the half. And I tell you what, a game that Marshall trailed 10-0 going into the second quarter. They really rallied to get back in this one, but Texas High scores with 8 seconds left to go in the half, and they get a lead into the halftime. That's going to be tough for Marshall because they will kick off as Texas High will start with the football to start the second half. So the Mavericks really need to get a stop to start the second quarter. So we're trying to get you some stats here. It's kind of hard for me to talk to you and to do math at the same time. If you know me, you know it's hard for me to do math and not talk to anybody. So we'll get you these stats here in just a moment. Some really, really good second quarter stats for the Mavericks. They really struggled early, but doing pretty good here to get off in the second half. So here we go. That's what I was missing, 127. All right, bear with me just a second, folks.
as Glenn Bickerdike is watching his daughter. Let me take a picture of something so I can get us some stats here in the second half. Okay. Here we go. Listening to the little Mavettes out there, the Big Red Pride. We'll let you listen for just a second. All right, folks, welcome back here to the halftime show. We're going to give you those stats quickly. 17-10 is our score. Texas High scores with 8 seconds to play in the first half after the onside kick attempt that failed for Marshall. The short field, the Tigers go 55 yards in 10 plays. Used basically the last 4 minutes of the clock, and they will take a lead into the half, 17-10. Got a little bit of momentum going into halftime, do the Tigers. First half stats, and we told you that first quarter was abysmal for Marshall. 22 yards over, 22 yards passing, 3 yards rushing for 25 total yards there in the first quarter. But they turned it around in the second. 26 yards rushing, 110 yards passing from Olvera for 136 overall. So Marshall ends the half. 29 yards rushing, 132 through the air for 161 yards of total offense. Olvera is 11 of 15. 11 of 15 for 132 rather, and a touchdown. So Olvera did really well there in the second quarter. Texas High, not a whole lot better for them. They had a big first quarter, 67 yards rushing, 13 passing, 80 total yards. But in the second quarter, it was all really on that last drive. 39 yards rushing, 13 passing, 52 yards of total offense there for them in the second quarter. So 132 yards of total offense is all you got for the Tigers at halftime. Mavericks outgaining them. Should be a 10-10 ball game really in reality, but the Mavericks trail 17-10. Those statistics brought to you by Brad Burris, Century 21, a select group. So, Glenn, right there.
Right there, like I say, I've kind of gone silent. Frustrated. I got to learn to, I guess, get over that. I was so proud of the way our guys had fought back, and we get back into the game 10-10 and attempt that onside kick that obviously didn't work. Set up a short field as we said in the broadcast, and Texas High goes down and scores a late touchdown. Is going to push it out to 17-10, and they're going to get the opening second half kickoff. They say we need to get a stop, get that momentum back on our side. I still believe in our kids. I think we can win this football game. We've just made too many mistakes in the first half.
And I tell you what, not only have we made some mistakes, we've also had some points taken off the board. You know, JQ had a great run down there. That didn't end up being points for the Mavericks. So really, in reality, could be a 17-14 football game instead of 17-10. Probably should be.
It should be. I totally
frankly.
agree. That was an awful holding call on Ja'Cory Smith out there blocking to kind of free him. He was locked up with that defender who, in my opinion, wasn't trying to fight a way to get out of the block. And the official, I guess, maybe saw his hand. It certainly wasn't outside on the shoulder pads or anything. We can see that from here. And calls that touchdown back. But exactly, I mean, you take that and then the onside kick that shouldn't have occurred. I mean, it could easily it could be 14-10 Mavericks.
Well, we're going to let you listen a little bit to the Big Red Pride at home. If you're watching on www.easttexastoday.com, join us and you'll see the Big Red Pride right there. We're going to let you listen to them a little bit, and then we'll tell you a little bit more about the Big Red Pride and the Mavettes. Hope you enjoy the halftime show listening to the Big Red Pride Marching Band. Well, folks, welcome back here to Grimm Stadium on the, well, not on the campus of Texas High School. It's a little off in an old neighborhood built in the 1950s, renovated about 12, 15 years ago. Really nice facility here in Texarkana. But the Mavericks trail the Tigers 17-10. Well, Texas High has finished, and Reggie, we appreciate you joining us.
Spiders
on the
have left the field.
That's right. Now listen, we've seen spiders this year.
Dungeons and Dragons, or whatever that bridge thing.
Yeah, we had a carnival breakout at Pine Tree. Yeah, I think they made funnel cakes at one point and served those. But we've still got about 11 minutes of the halftime show, so we're going to take another 2-minute break. So we're going to take a 2-minute break from Texarkana. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to Marshall Maverick Football on the Heartbeat. Well, the longest halftime show since last week.
We set new records each week.
That's right. We have been in halftime for seemingly forever. It's still 8 minutes on the clock, says, for halftime. Hopefully it's not going to be that long. But the Mavericks trail the Tigers 17-10 at the half.
Well, as we're searching for things to talk about here at the half, it's kind of like Jeopardy. Let's do concussions for 200.
Wow, I mean, I'm telling you what, it is something. we do have something we can talk about that's good today. So the Lady Mavs, we haven't told you about this. So the Lady Mavs ended the first round of district play. They were 4-2, 22-12, I believe, on the season before they started the second round of district play. So they're in second place behind Texas High. Texas High undefeated through the first round. The Mavericks picked up their win tonight in their first game of the second round. They sweep Pine Tree at home 3-0. So the Mavericks holding on to that second place seat right now in district play.
Second or third?
They are in the second or third. They are in second place.
Okay, so
they're holding on to their seat in second place.
Okay, what
behind
about
Texas High?
What's Sulphur Spring? I thought they lost to Sulphur Spring.
Well, Sulphur Spring, technically going into tonight, Sulphur Springs, Marshall, and Hallsville all sat at 4-2.
Okay,
so I guess there was
Hallsville beat them.
Yeah,
I knew we had lost to
four-way
Sulphur
tie.
Springs.
Yeah, four-way tie, I guess, for second, or three-way tie for second. So depending upon what everybody else did tonight, that would be interesting to see. The Mavs right there keeping pace at 4-2. And really a really good thing for Marshall and the volleyball context is the vast majority of their second round games are at home. They were mostly on the road to start. So they'll get Sulphur Springs at home. They'll get Hallsville at home. They'll get Mount Pleasant at home. They'll travel to Texas High and Longview. So Longview has really been struggling as of late. Lost to us 3-0, lost Texas High 3-0, I think, lost to Hallsville 3-0. So, we have life on the field that does not involve a halftime show.
The PA announcer just came over and woke everybody up.
So there still says 6 minutes, but I don't think we're going to wait 6 minutes. So Texas High comes on the field with all kinds of Texas flags. And
well, while we're waiting for the kickoff, you want me to run around the district?
Well, there'll be some games almost finished.
Yeah,
Why don't you go check on it?
Actually, some of these, the Hallsville White House game, it's over halfway through the third quarter. Hallsville's beginning to pull away, looking for their first victory of the season to break a pretty long losing streak. They lead White House 23-14, who will be coming to Maverick Stadium next Friday night. Mount Pleasant and Nacogdoches still at the half. They must be having a long show as well. They're still tied at 14. Pine Tree, Jacksonville, they're almost halfway through the third quarter. Pine Tree has scored again. They lead 21-0. And if we ever get going here again, I feel confident that the Mavericks are fixing to knot this contest up. But everybody's stretching their legs. The Mavericks are still down in the end zone.
Yeah, that's really tough to have that long of a halftime for those kids. I mean, you go in and it's almost like you're starting over.
Well, it really is. I guess the good thing is, I mean, it was hot today. I mean, this time of the year, as night comes about, it doesn't get it's not quite as warm in the evening, and the humidity is not near as bad. So hopefully the kids are not exhausted like you think about in that first couple of games where it was really hot, really humid, a lot of sweating and cramping. But like I say, hopefully we're focused. I'm gonna bet you $100 bill that we kick this opening second half kickoff into or through the end zone.
I think that is probably a pretty safe bet. If I was a betting man, I think it would be. I tell you what, the Mavericks have some opportunities here. You know, you get to decide how you react, and let's see if we flip the switch. We've reacted really well this season, so let's see what we do here. Just real quickly, one thing we haven't been able to mention is our cheerleaders a lot this year. So I got that from Melissa Shaw. So let me run through those. Our varsity cheerleaders: Carly Beavers, Rashauer Bennett, Emily Blaylock, Baylor Burris, Alyssa Clark, Layla Ford, Corrine Harris, Chloe Henderson, Kavisha Mims, Ruby Olvera, Savannah Payne, Celia Robinson, Captain Angela Sanchez, co-captain Tristan Stevens, and the mascot, Tanaya Thomas. And one more, Afton Cantrell, also a mascot. So that's our cheerleaders, and we thank them for all they do every week as well. But I think we are actually going to use all the time here in the half. We got the refs are restretching.
Well, they stopped that clock. I mean, they've got it reset at 12 minutes, ready for the third quarter. Texas High, they're out here on the field stretching at the 45-yard line. This is going to be I'm guessing, their return team. And the Mavericks are in the end zone, looks like maybe doing some yoga.
Yeah, they're still stretching. I think we need to kind of come out because it looks like the referees are ready to set this for play. So it is kind of confusing right now. It's time to go, and Marshall's still over there in the end zone. Let's see what we're going to do here. They are, I think, going to use all of that 5-minute clock. They've removed that from the scoreboard, but it looks like Marshall's elected to use all of it. So it's going to be a long night tonight. By the time we get back, it's going to be Saturday. Again, our score here at halftime, it's Marshall trails Texarkana 17-10. And man, Glenn Bickerdike, do we need to get a 3-and-out stop to start second half?
Absolutely. I hope that's the case. This game is going to be about possessions and limiting mistakes. Right now, if you look at it, we're down 2 possessions. We're down by a score, and we're fixing to give them the football. So really 2 stops or a turnover is what it's going to take to kind of even the score.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, you have to take your hat off so far to Texas High. They played a pretty clean football game. No turnovers for them, limited penalties. So Marshall really needs to get a stop here to start the second half.
Well, you look back at last week, when you look at the offensive production by both teams, it was really close. Time of possession, neither team had a whole lot of penalties, but the difference in that huge lopsided victory was turnovers and play of special teams. We won the turnover margin, or the tally, I guess you'd say, 5-1. Returned 2 of those turnovers for 6 points. Had the punt return for a touchdown. So those type things really make a difference.
So here we go. Marshall's going to get set to kick this one off. They will be moving left to right. Again, our score at the half. It's Texarkana 17, Marshall 10. We kind of got all hot and bothered in the first half. Let's hope we don't do that here in the second. Really a rough night for Marshall on the penalty side. I would bet Marshall's pushing 50, maybe 55 yards in penalties there in the first half.
Well, at least we've had 3. We had 3 holding penalties or 2.
At least 3, maybe 4.
And we've had a chop block.
That's 15.
That's 15. So those right there, that's if you take 2 holding and a chop block, which I know we've had more than that. They had the offsides, which gave them the first down. So that's 50 or 60 easily.
Yeah, and that has really made a difference here tonight. The difference in a touchdown versus a field goal. So 17-10 our score at the half. And Marshall getting set to kick this one off. Buchanan will be kicking left to right. And I'm going to go with Glenn Bickerdike, and I think he's probably right that he is going to put this one on the top of the
field
house. I think so. So here we go. Buchanan with the kick. Long, high kick. It'll be out the back of the end zone. It'll hit at the tee, and it'll be a touchback for Texas High. They'll start at their own 25. Huge possession, Glenn. Huge possession, Reggie Cooper. Got to get a stop right here.
Well, I was pretty bold in making that prediction on what we would do on the kickoff. I'm going to make an even more bold prediction here, not bold. I guarantee our defense is going to get a stop right here. We're fixing to get the football back.
Well, here we go. McHenry, which seems like eons ago since we played football. 3 receivers to the right. McHenry in the shotgun. Stewart to his right. He'll bring a man in motion left to right. Marshall with a 4-man front. They're going to hand it to Stewart. Oh, he's got a man to the outside. Marshall does a pretty good job of stringing that out. He'll gain about to the 29.
He was met initially by Terrell Davis, and then his buddy Buck Buchanan came in and kind of cleaned it up, but it's still about a 4-yard gain for the Tigers.
It'll bring up 2nd down and 10, or 2nd down and 6 rather, for the Tigers from their own 29-yard line. 3 receivers split wide to the right. McHenry will be in the shotgun. Stewart to his right. He'll be standing back at about the 23-yard line. They'll bring that one man in motion.
That's a false start right there. I was hoping they were going to call that. That looked like the center kind of simulated a snap, then he stopped. So that's going to negate that 4-yard gain. It's going to push them back to 2nd and 11.
That's a big penalty there. Puts them in a long down and distance situation on 2nd down. So we'll see what they do here. The Tigers have thrown the ball in this position tonight. 2nd down and 11 from the 24. 17-10 our score. Texas County with the lead. 3 receivers right, none to the left, and there's going to be, we'll get it right back to them.
We're going to get it right back, I believe, unless there was some movement that we didn't see. Looks like the Maverick. Yep.
That's going to be Seabiscuit. He just smoked the center. And we'll give it right back to him and make it another 2nd down and 6. So 2nd down and 6 from the 29-yard line. 3 receivers split wide to the right, none to the left. McHenry in the shotgun, Stewart to his right. Hard count as we go under 20 seconds on the play clock. They'll change the play from the sideline. McHenry will bark out the new signal. Takes the snap, going to hand it off to Stewart. No, he's going to tuck it. He'll throw it to the outside. Catch will be made at about the 32. We're going to mark him at the 33.
Very short gain. Good defense there by Wilder and Warren. Just going to give up. Well, it's going to end up being about a 4-yard gain, but it's going to be 3rd and 2 for the Tigers.
Big play here for Marshall's defense. Can we get off the field? I bet you my bottom dollar that Stewart or McHenry runs this one. Marshall goes to a 5-man front. McHenry in the shotgun. He's doing all the simulated, trying to get Marshall to jump off sides with the head bump.
Yeah, he's trying to get that cheap 1st down, trying to draw the Mavericks off sides again.
So from the right hash, and we go under 6 seconds left to play on the play clock. We'll get him behind the line of scrimmage. No gain. No gain. He'll lose 2 yards. Marshall's defense will force a punt.
What did I predict there, Chase? They get 3 and out.
Marshall's defense
you
will force
the punt.
Right
here, KMHT.
That's a big defensive possession there. Marshall got in the backfield. It'll be a loss of what, 2?
About 2. Yeah, it's going to be 4th and 4.
A loss of 1. Loss of 1. Back to the 32. So back deep is Chi-Chi Roberson. He'll be standing back about the Marshall 45-yard line. Let's see if Marshall can turn this into points and get this thing back even. Here's the snap. He'll drop back. Here comes the punt. It's going to be a low punt. It'll fall, and Chi-Chi Roberson will call a fair catch at the 30. Good job there, Marshall, with good field position.
Yeah, that's a good job by Roberson there. The ball hit in front of him, and it was going to bounce. Probably would have gone at least another 10 yards, but he had signaled the fair catch. He catches it on the bounce, and he's unable to advance that. So pretty good starting field position. All right, we've got one of those possessions back.
Let's go turn this one into points.
We got to turn it into points now.
Strange again. He caught that at the 30. They give us the 31. So Marshall will have it. 2 wide receivers split wide to the left, 1 to the right. Over in the shotgun will split J.Q. Davis out, looking to pass to that's a difficult pass. It's caught and then picked off. Caught and then dropped by Marshall. It's picked off by Texas High, still on his feet, and he'll carry a Maverick down to the 25.
Boy, Olvera threw that one into tight coverage, but Smith was able to make the catch, and he makes the football move and makes a couple of steps, and then the ball comes out right into the defender's hands for the Tigers, and he's going to return it, I guess, about 15 yards down to the Maverick 25, and just like that, the possession is going to go back to the Tigers.
Yeah, that's a fumble, not a pick from Olvera. That was a catch
that's
from
right.
Smith.
Yeah, it's just a fumble, but I don't think it ever hit the ground. It went from Smith's hands, came out, and went straight into the defender's hands.
Well, that's about as bad as some luck as you can get. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. 1st and 10 for the Tigers from the 25. They'll give it to Stewart going right side. Big hole there. Marshall closes quickly. Good job there, no gain.
Wilder again on the tackle. Him and his teammate number 23, Quinn Hawkins, who had the big week last week against Jacksonville. They're able to close that opening he had there on the outside for no gain for the Tiger running back.
These mistakes starting to chalk up for Marshall. You can't continue to make them and win the football game.
No, once you get into the second half, you certainly got to get those cleaned up as you trail.
3 receivers left, 1 to the right. McHenry in the shotgun, man to his left on 2nd and 10 from the 25. Drops back, looking to pass.
There's a hold.
That should have been a hold, no call.
No call. That was a blatant hold. Marshall defender, I believe that was Seabiscuit, as he breaks through the line, he gets turned almost 90 degrees trying to get through, and no call by the officiating crew.
Yeah, pass will be complete down to the 7, so it'll be 1st and goal. Would have been a sack, but the hold on Isaiah Alexander not called. 2 receivers right, 1 left. McHenry takes the snap. He fakes that. Oh, he does hand it off. Goes up the middle. Stewart squeezes through. They're going to mark him at the 4. And it is frustrating to watch a game where you have stuff like that happen.
Yeah,
it really is.
I mean, stuff that's so obvious. I mean, they call stuff that, in our opinion, is not there, and stuff that's just, I mean, right at the point of impact, it's obvious to see in the middle of the field and no call.
2nd down and goal now for Texarkana from the Marshall 4, and we feel we're getting a little precarious feeling here. If they score a touchdown, the Mavericks will find themselves down 14. 3 receivers left. McHenry in the shotgun, takes the snap, he'll fake the handoff, takes it himself up the middle, and he'll be clobbered at the 4.
Yeah, that hole closed up real quick. A whole host of Mavericks there on the tackle. About 4 or 5 of them just came together at the same time and stopped him in his tracks.
No gain there, so 3rd down and goal again from the 4. Let's see if Marshall can hold him to 3. That would be significant if the Mavs can do that. 3 receivers to the left, a lot of space out there to the right. They'll send a man in motion. Timeout's going to be called by Texas High. And we're going to keep it right here. I tell you, that is as frustrating. This has been a frustrating football game to watch, a really frustrating one to call.
It really has been. And I say and again, I've officiated before. I know officials are not one-sided, or at least when I was doing it, they weren't. But it's I don't see in a play like that, we're up here, we see our defender literally coming through the line and just get, I mean, literally hell, turn. I mean, we're talking about how big is Seabiscuit? He is
he's pretty big.
He's 281 pounds, and for a man like that to get turned 90 degrees, he got held.
Yeah. And instead of that being a 10-yard penalty backing him up,
it was about a 20-yard gain.
Yeah. So here's a big play in this one. It's 17-10. Marshall trails Texarkana. We have just had all kinds of difficulties tonight. Turnovers, bad penalties at bad times. So it'll be 3rd down and goal from the Maverick 4. 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. Marshall trying to spread us out here. McHenry in the shotgun, Stewart to his right. They're going to fake the handoff to him. They're going to try to throw it. He's got he's got the ball at the 5, and he will not score. They're going to mark him at the 3. Did a poor job telling you what happened there, but McHenry pulled that down, and we thought he was going to throw it, but he ended up running. And Texas High is going to take the 3.
It's like they're going to take the points. That's a huge stand by the Maverick defense. That's going to hopefully just limit this possession to 3 points, which now is going to be a 3-possession game, as we've got to score twice. Well, actually, it gets 2 because we're going to get the kickoff here.
So let's see if Lady Luck finds us, and maybe he shanks this one. Snap is back, hold is down, kick is up, and it is good. So with 6:17 to play, the Maverick defense holds them to 3. Our new score, Texas High 20, Marshall 10. Stay with us. You're listening to Marshall Maverick Football. We'll be back in just a minute. Well, folks, welcome back here to Maverick football. The Marshall Mavericks find themselves in a 10-point hole similar to the first half. They got down 10-0 to Texas High, stormed back to tie it. So let's see if the Mavs can do the same thing here in the second half against Texas High. Our score 20-10 with 6:17 to play in the third. If you're just joining us at 9:30 and you say, how is there only 6:17 left to play in the third? Long halftime show. So Texas High is probably going to pooch kick this. Let's see if the Mavericks are ready. Huge hole in the middle of the field between the 30 and the 40. Let's see if the Mavs can cover here as we await the kick that will be coming right to left. So here comes the kick from Texas High. It is going to be a pooch kick. The fair catch called for at the 25, and that's where Marshall will have it.
I believe that's James Perkins again on the fair catch. That's going to set the Mavericks up 1st and 10 on the 25 going out.
Really have to answer. Got to get points here, preferably a touchdown. But I tell you what, frustrating night for Marshall. Just some bad things happening at inopportune times. So here we go, 6:17 to play in the third, 20-10, Texas High. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right for the Mavericks. Olvera in the shotgun, takes it, hands it to J.Q. Davis going left side. Gets over the 25, they'll mark him at the 27.
Yeah, just 2-yard gain there by Davis. He goes off the left side, just not much of a hole, but he is able to pick up 2 yards on that first down play.
Tough sledding tonight for J.Q. Davis. Only 29 yards in the first half on about 6 carries. So we're going to see if he can turn the juice on here. 2nd down and 8 for Marshall from their own 28-yard line. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Olvera in the shotgun. He'll bring Smith in motion, left to right. And there's the penalty.
It's obviously going to be a false start. I don't know if they talked. There was some movement, nothing happened, and then the coach looks like he gets into the line judge's ear. He throws no flag. I guess he was trying to buy something over here, and
yeah, there's no way the wide receiver can go in motion.
Yeah,
I mean,
I say he just throws his flag out, and then they just wave it off.
So that'll bring up 2nd down and 8 again for Marshall.
There's a false start. That is going to be a false start. This time that's going to be on number 55, the right tackle, Sean Wallace. He kind of bobbed his head there. That is going to be a 5-yard penalty for the Mavericks. Here we go again, making more mistakes.
Well, this game, if we lose this one, it will be because of all these mistakes. Bunch so far. So now 2nd down and about 13 for Marshall. Same formation. We'll split a guy out. See if JQ can get in space. He'll get a couple, not many. They'll mark him up to the 24.
They're just not able to find a crease there to get through. So they are really keying on JQ. I think the defensive coordinator for Texas High has probably studied the film, so we're not going to let that guy beat us, and they're keying on him. He can't seem to, other than that one nice run he had in the first half, he's really not done a whole lot.
It's only a 2-yard pickup there. It'll be 3rd down and 11 for Marshall from their own 24-yard line. 2 receivers split wide each side. 4:50 to play here in the third quarter.
There's another
false start again. So that'll be 5 more yards. And I tell you what, Marshall's going to have 100 yards of penalties tonight. And I think there's got to be something going on up there on that line from Texas High.
Well, usually the officials will kind of listen for that if the Tigers are calling out snap count there, and a lot of times they'll do that, but that's a delay of game penalty if that's what they're doing.
So 3rd and 16 for Marshall. Pressure from Olvera. He'll step up in the pocket, throws it across the middle. Catch made by Chichi Roberson at the 38. What a pass.
That was a great pass and a great throw. Olvera, he just kind of stepped into the pocket, and Robertson was coming across the middle just beyond the first down stakes. He sneaks the ball in there. Robertson makes a great catch. He kind of balled up. He knew he was going to get hit coming across the middle, but he hangs on to it and moves the chains for the Mavericks.
20-yard pitch and catch for Olvera to Chichi Roberson. 1st down and 10 for Marshall at their own 39-yard line. Great play from Olvera. 3 receivers right. Olvera in the shotgun. J.Q. Davis to his left. Takes a snap, hands it off to Davis. He'll make one man miss. He'll cross the 40. They'll mark him at the 42.
Yeah, they're just gang tackling him. Number 27 there. number 11, that was Darren Finley. He just wraps both legs up, and I don't care how good a running back you are. If you're hog-tied like that, you can't run.
So that'll be a gain of 3 on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7 for Marshall. 3:40 to go here in the third. Mavericks trail by 10, 20-10. 2 receivers right, 1 left. O'Vera in the shotgun, takes the snap. They're going to give it to Davis on a stretch play. I don't know if he'll get the corner. He does somehow, but he's only going to pick up a yard. They'll mark him at the 43.
Trying to get that running game going, which we all know if we can get that established somewhat, that'll further open up the passing game, which has been pretty successful tonight. But this is going to be a 3rd and 6, probably obviously a passing situation for the Mavericks.
3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. 20-10 our score. Marshall does not need to give the football back to Texas High right here. Big 3rd down from their own 43. They need the 49 for a 1st down. 3 receivers stack formation right for the Mavericks, 1 to the left. O'Vera in the shotgun with the back to his right. Takes the snap, drops back, a little pressure, pump fake.
That should be holding. That ought to bring. And the defender, number 23, he's begging like, what did I do? He had both arms wrapped around Smith.
Just tackled him.
It was tackling him. While the ball was in the air, well before it gets to him, and they've got 3 flags on the field. That's the obvious one. I probably would have come out of this booth had they not called that.
Yeah, that one was pretty obvious. If they would have called that uncatchable, that really would have. I would have had to probably go get the EMT or get Reggie to start working on you.
Like I say, that was probably holding. I mean, it was so far before the ball was probably even released. But that's going to be a nice break there for the Maverick offense.
That's a big penalty. It'll mark it all the way down to the 42-yard line of Texarkana. So here we go, trailing by 10 with 2:40 to play in the third. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. O'Vera shotgun, drops back, looking to pass. He's going to get this one out there to – yep, he caught it. That's a big pass from Smith.
What a catch by Jaquan Smith. He was out here isolated on that cornerback again, one-on-one, and he just gets one step on him, and O'Vera did a great job laying that out there. Smith runs under it, catches it, and sets the Mavericks up inside the red zone at the 10, 1st and goal. 32
yards to Jaquan Smith. The ball will be spotted at the 10-yard line. The Mavericks are in the Austin Bank red zone with 2:25 to play. They trail by 10. A touchdown here would be huge. They cannot get a 1st down without scoring. So 1st and goal from the 10. They'll bring a man in motion left to right. Going to hand this one to Davis. He'll be hit behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a couple.
Nothing doing there at number 16. He came around as Ian Krite, and he blows through, and he meets Davis in the backfield. That's going to be about a 2-yard loss. Going to make it 2nd and goal from the 12.
Yeah, that Marshall not able to do anything between the tackles tonight. Tried to run that one between the tackles. We'll go under 2 minutes. 20-10 our score. 2nd down and goal for the Mavericks from the Texas High 12 going in. Marshall really needs a touchdown here.
Yeah, and just you got to have points for sure.
2 receivers left, 1 to the right. We've got Smith man-to-man right. O'Vera takes it. He's going to hand it off to J.Q. Davis over the right side to the 10 to the 8. Let's see where they put him. We're going to mark him at the 9.
Looked like he was going to break through there for a minute. He got a little bit of a hole coming to the outside about the 9s and just got wrapped up as he goes inside the 10-yard line.
So that's a gain of only 3. So the Mavericks look at now 3rd down and goal from the 9 as we go under 1 minute to play here in the third quarter. It's Texas High 20, Marshall 10, and whoa, got to have a touchdown here. Got to have a touchdown. That'd be great. Let's see if we can get it.
You can't turn the ball over. You got to score here. You got to get at least 3.
So here we go. 2 receivers left, 2 right. O'Vera takes the snap, drops back, looking. He's going to step up in the pocket. He'll make one man miss, but that's it. They're going to get him at the 11. He'll lose a yard, maybe 2.
Well, like I say, that's smart not to turn the ball over there. Sometimes you want to try to force something to happen and turn the ball over. But like I say, as we're almost to the end of the third quarter, the Mavericks have got to come away with some points here. And it looks like Buchanan's going to come on for about a 28-yard field goal.
28-yard field goal attempt.
So it'll be from the right hash as this will be the last play of this quarter. Mavs trail by 10. They're trying to cut it to 7. Oh, off sides there. Snap is back. Hold is down. Kick is no good, but they're going to be off sides, will the Tigers. That'll stop the clock with 10 seconds to play. That's a 5-yard penalty. Let's see. That's going to be outside the 10. It ought to put it at the 6.
I believe so. The 5 or 6 yard line. I feel confident that the Mavericks are going to re-kick here. I don't think just because they're closer, I don't think that's going to change their decision to go for 3 here. Still going to be 4th and goal after the penalty.
Yeah, clearly offsides. So 5-yard penalty should put the ball right at the 6. And it's still from the hash, so let's see here what happens. Marshall still in a field goal formation.
That's going to make it a 23-yard attempt now.
Well, Marshall really needs to get these points. Try to cut it to a 1-possession game. So snap is back, hold is down, kick is up, it's blocked. It's blocked and no good.
I say that thing just fluttered. That didn't have the normal end over end. It looked like a shot duck there, just kind of floating through the air, and it sails wide left. That is huge, huge miss there for the Mavericks. Opportunities, the word I'm looking for. We pull it within a score there, and
block field goal.
That's not what we do. Special teams. I've been really talking high on them all week about just how automatic our special teams has been, and they just have really kind of sputtered tonight.
Just too many mistakes for Marshall tonight, down 10, 20-10. As we'll have one more play here in the third quarter. We need Texas High to give us the football back. McHenry in the shotgun with Stewart. They're going to hand it to him coming over the right side, and he'll carry a Maverick with him. Just carries TD.
That was Terrell Davis on the tackle, but not after about a 6-yard gain.
So that's the end of the third quarter. The Mavericks find themselves in a big hole, 20-10, after they can't get points on the field goal. Stay with us. You're listening to Marshall Maverick Football on the heartbeat of East Texas.
Marshall ISD athletics programs help students achieve the highest level of success, both on and off the field, by challenging them to grow physically, intellectually, emotionally, and socially. Our athletes have access to state-of-the-art training facilities, providing them with top-tier tools needed to be successful. MISD has a rich history of developing talented athletes that have proven to be successful at the college and professional levels. Come play at Marshall ISD and find out why we take pride in our past and promise for our future.
Well, folks, welcome back here to Grimm Stadium. Marshall trails the Texas High Tigers 20-10, not able to take advantage of a chip shot field goal. Marshall gets it blocked. It appeared to be blocked. I think it was blocked.
I'm guessing it was. You know, the kick before, which was offsides, I mean, it kind of threw things off. But, you know, that kick didn't look very well. It just kind of floated. Of course, the whistle had blown. And then that second attempt there, just I'm not sure what happened.
Well, here we go. 2nd down and 4 for Texas High from the 26. Marshall needs to get a stop. They're going to fake the handoff. They're going to roll this way with McHenry. He's going to throw it up. Might be an opportunity for a pick.
Oh.
Good play there from Perkins. He knocks it away.
Yeah, Perkins, great job on the defense. He was there reading the ball and almost timed his jump a little too soon, and that he was able to kind of get a finger on the ball and deflect it, and it's going to fall incomplete. It's going to make it 3rd and 4 here. Another big stop needed by the red brick wall.
Yes, is a huge play for the defense. Can they get off the field here? That stops the clock with 11:52 to play. So 3rd down and 4 from the Texas High 26. You got to think they're going to give the ball to Stewart here. 2 split wide to the right, 1 to the left. Texas High will snap it, drops back, looking to pass. McHenry trying to get across the middle. That should be a hold there, no call. He's going to be chased out of bounds. He'll be knocked out of bounds at the 24, and Marshall's defense is going to hold. So let's go Big Red.
Great stop by the defense after the misfire on the offense is unable to score. And on the missed field goal, the defense steps right back up, gets the 3 and out on the Tiger offense, and they're going to have to punt the ball away.
That's what we needed. It stopped the clock. That only used about 15 seconds there as Marshall will get the ball back to start the 4th quarter, trailing by 10. So let's go Big Red. We need a play right here. Chi-Chi Roberson back at the Texas High 45-yard line. Marshall with a little pressure. Punt's going to be high and short. Chi-Chi Roberson comes in to make the catch. He's going to get away from it. It will fall. Marshall ball at their own 47, and let's go score.
Well, this is a great opportunity here. We got good field position just shy of midfield. The Mavericks are going to be 53 yards away from the end zone. It's now time is starting to become a factor. That was a great possession defensively for the Mavericks. Like you said, only a few seconds ticked off the clock with 2 incomplete passes on that drive for the Tigers. And Mavericks need to get the ball rolling here.
2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Olvera in the shotgun from his own 47-yard line. He'll bring 1 man in motion. That's Smith. Right to left. Takes the snap. Drops back. Has some time. Looking across the middle. He's going to throw this one deep, and Smith almost comes down with it. It'll fall incomplete.
I tell you what, I thought that one was going to be picked off, a little overthrown, and Smith just put on the jets and almost made just an unbelievable catch. Hits his fingertips, and the ball's going to fall incomplete. It's going to be 2nd and 10 for the Mavericks.
Boy, the difference in this one has just been Marshall mistakes. Still a 10-point game with 11:25 to play. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Olvera in the shotgun, 2nd and 10 from the 47. Drops back. He's going to throw the little screen to the outside, and he misses it. Had him out there open, and Olvera throws it incomplete, threw it behind him.
Yeah, he was under pressure, and the screen was set up. And if he's able to complete that pass, probably a big game for the Maverick offense. Got something going on here. Looks like the back judge is run way in, is talking to the white hat. I don't see any flags on the field.
Who knows? Tonight, all you can say is who knows.
Oh, maybe it may have been the play clock. They just reset it to 25 seconds. There may have been a play clock malfunction.
3rd and 10 for Marshall from their own 47. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Olvera takes the snap.
I mean, another false start in the Maverick offense. They're just out of sync. I mean, this is the type of stuff you expect to see the first couple of games of the season, where you're kind of finding your rhythm. But we've had 3 false starts in the last 2 possessions, and just uncharacteristic of a disciplined football team, which the Mavericks have certainly been up until tonight.
I gotta wonder if something's going on there in the trenches, because that's almost unheard of for 3 false start penalties in like the last 5 or 6 plays.
Well, you would think if that's happening that our offensive line would be saying something to the officials that, they're calling our snap counts, but not really seeing any complaining by the Marshall offensive linemen.
So 3rd down and 15 for Marshall. Stack formation left, 1 to the right. Olvera takes the snap, drops back, looking to pass. Has a man across the middle. It's Smith. He catches it at the 48.
That's
Chi-Chi down to the 46.
That young man's got some great hands. He cut off that route, and Olvera puts the throw right on the mark. He goes up and catches it, and it's going to be about a 11-yard gain there, Rich, on that. It's going to be 4th, and the Mavericks are.
Yeah, we got to go here.
Got to go here.
So from the Texas High 47-yard line, we've got to have the 43 for a first down as we go under 11 to play, down 10. So Marshall's got to get a first down.
Probably the play of the game right here.
So 2 receivers, or 1 receiver to the left. Marshall's not going to get this one off. Stack formation 3-2. We do get it off before it runs out. Throw it to the outside. J.Q. Davis is going to have it, but he does pick the first down up.
I tell you what,
J.Q. Davis.
He was dead in his steps right there at the line of scrimmage. He does a spin move, and he picks up those 5 yards on his own.
That was a little dump pass to the outside to J.Q. Davis, and he made 1 man miss to the outside and then came back inside and extended the ball in order to pick up the first down. I believe he needed 5. I think he got 6.
He did. He needed to get to the 43, got to the 42. That was all determination on J.Q. Davis.
So here we go, 1st and 10 for Marshall from the 42 of Texas High. 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Olvera drops back, looking to pass, steps up. He's going to be hit and dropped at the 45. He'll lose about 3.
And nobody was open downfield. Pretty good coverage by the Tiger defense. Olvera just had nowhere to go with it, and he gets hit just about 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to be a sack for the Tiger defense.
They'll actually mark him at the 44, so it'll be a loss of only 2. 9:34 to play. The clock is all of a sudden a huge factor here as Marshall trails 20-10. Second down and 12 from the Texas High 44-yard line. 2 receivers left, and that's going to be, should be a false start. They don't call that. Trying to set up the screen again, and it's tipped.
I say that's the second time they've tried to run that screen over to the right side. They've got it set up, but Olvera just can't complete the pass. The first one a couple of plays ago was well off the mark, and that one gets batted down by the one of the front guys for the Tiger defense. It's going to be 3rd and 12.
The officials missed Marshall was in motion early and just totally missed that, the officials. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. 3rd down and 12 for Marshall from the 44. Snap back, pin the ears back. Here come the pick.
That's going to be picked off.
That's a pick six.
That's pick six.
Pick six from the 30. He'll take it all the way back from the Marshall 30. And that might just do it.
That was Tyreek Robinson. That's 5 interceptions in 5 games. He takes that one the difference. Just a poor throw on Olvera's part, and he's going to return that the other way, and that's going to stretch the lead out to 26-10 with the point to come.
And I tell you what, this is going to be one when you watch the film, it's just got away from us. I mean, just made too many mistakes tonight, 26-10 as we await the point after. But I think, Glenn, that might do it. It would take a miracle with 9 to play.
Yeah, in high school football, there's always a chance, but that's going to be pretty deep to dig out of.
Snap is back, hold is down, kick is up, and it's good. So 9:03 to play. Texas High extends their lead on the 70-yard pick six, 27-10. Stay with us. You're listening to Marshall Maverick Football on the heartbeat of East Texas. Well, after the 70-yard pick six, the Marshall Mavericks find themselves down 27-10, down 17 with 9 to play, and it would take a miracle to pull back in this one. Texas High kicks off, going to be a little pooch kick. This one is going to be fair catch called. That's one you could have returned back at the 25.
Yeah, when you kick that one down there to the 25, you got time to return that one. I think they're just so gun shy after what happened the first couple of kickoffs of the game, and it's just kind of an automatic fair catch, and like I say, they're going to be at the 25 where it would have been if it had been a touchback. So we'll see if the Maverick offense needs to get a quick score here. Still got all 3 timeouts. There is time, but it's going to have to happen pretty quick.
Yeah, Marshall's got to get down the field. Can't go slow. 2 receivers split wide each side. You got to think Olvera's going to throw this one. Marshall looked to be early there. Olvera's going to roll out. This one will be caught at the 28.
It'll be about a 4. I think they're going to mark it at the 29. Going to be a 4-yard gain. Is positive yardage, but in this situation, down 3 scores, going to have to move the ball down the field a little quicker.
So 2nd down and 6 for Marshall from the 29-yard line. Ball right hash, 3 receivers left, 1 right. Snap back to Olvera, looks, has a guy out there. Chichi Roberson catches it. That's a good pass, good route. Not something we've done much tonight. Be completed up to the 38.
That's like the official. Even though he went out of bounds, I think he's going to say forward progress. So I'm thinking when these chains are set, the clock's going to start moving again, and indeed it is.
God, that's an awful call, too. He clearly went out of bounds.
Well, I think he marked it his forward progress is why he kept it moving.
Olvera drops back, is going to dump it to the outside to J.Q. Davis. He'll make one man miss, and that's all that's going to happen. Get to the 40. It's a 2-yard pickup.
Yeah, I say you don't have enough time to advance the ball 2-3 yards at a time. You're down 3 scores. Got to move it down the field a little quicker.
2nd down, 7.
So 2nd down and 7. They're going to give him 3 there. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Snap back to Olvera, drops back, looking. He's going to dump it over to. That's almost picked.
Almost picked that one off again. That would have probably gone for 6 had it been intercepted.
And that should be targeting. That should have been a targeting play. So our coaches are going crazy and should. He not only targeted him, he then stood over him after he hit him. That is not a real.
We'll see if they've got the Jumbotron here. They have shown.
That's Tyreek Robinson.
Yeah, they've shown some replays. The officials are They are huddled up. That is Davis that was down. He's up and walking off the field on his own. We're going to see what the officials say. There was no flags on the play.
There is a flag. There's a flag
there
at
is
the
a
48.
flag. Okay.
That should be targeting. I mean, that no question should be targeting.
We're going to see the call
If
here.
not, it's an unsportsmanlike conduct for standing over it.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, timing on the defense number 27. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That was Javarius Tyson, the senior linebacker, called for taunting. That's going to be a huge break for the Mavericks. That's going to move it across midfield and going to set the Mavericks up 1st and 10 at the Tiger 44-yard line as we are under 8 minutes, 7:43 left to play in the game.
I mean, we got to score like right now, and then we got to kick an onside kick. 3 receivers left, 1 right. First down and 10 from the Texas High 44. Low snap, Olvera fields it. He's going for this one. Got a man deep. He's going to just overthrow it.
Just a little overthrown. Good coverage by the Tiger defense. Corner and the safety was there converging on the play, and really no chance for a completion on that play. Going to be 2nd and 10 now for the Maverick offense.
So Marshall not able to get any points in the second half so far. 27-10 is our score. 2nd down and 10 for Marshall from the Texas High 44. We get right here and kind of bogged down tonight. 3 receivers left. Olvera in the shotgun. Takes a snap, drops back. Bull rush from Texas High. Going to throw this one out. It's a picked off.
It's going to be picked off. That is a pick. Good catch there by the safety. They're going to pick it off at the 20-yard line. It's 7:30 to play, and that's pretty much going to stick a fork in this one. This one's going to be pretty much in the loss column for the Mavericks.
Yeah, 7:30 left to play, and that one might do it. Texas High ran about 4.5 off to end the first half with a score. So 27-10 is our score. 7:30 to play, and Marshall's just running out of juice.
Well, you're fixing to see a heavy dose of Braylon Stewart. I bet they're going to feed him the ball, and they're fixing to work this clock down and get this game over with.
This is going to be one you go back and watch, and what might have been. I mean, Marshall really, this is not necessarily Texas High beating us. I think this is more us beating ourselves. 5 turnovers tonight, I believe.
I believe that's right. I know there's 4 interceptions.
Handoff to Stewart up the middle. He'll make one man miss. Tackle will be made by Sam Palmer.
If I'm not mistaken, we had the fumble on the kickoff. We had the fumble that Smith after he caught the ball, and then 3 interceptions on Olvera. So last week we're the benefactor of 5 turnovers. This week, unfortunately, we're going to be the victim of 5 turnovers.
Yeah, you're not going to win a football game with 5 turnovers, a missed field goal, a botched or a missed onside kick.
Onside kick attempt, that poor judgment or whatever you want to call it.
That's tough. So quickly to the line of scrimmage goes Texas High on 2nd 3, and it's a fumble. It's going to go all the way back to the 5 where he'll fall on it.
Big
That's
break there.
Snap.
I'd say it's probably a little late. I mean, we'll certainly take it, but that ball's going to go all the way back inside the Tiger 10-yard line. That's going to set up a 3rd and a mile for the Tiger offense. About 22.
Yep, got to get all the way to the 30 for a first down. So Texas High is just going to use every ounce of the play clock here on this one. They'll take it under 6 minutes before they snap it. Actually, they'll get right about 6:02.
That's probably the thing to do, just snap it and run the ball. And then, of course, we're probably going to force the Mavericks to try to call a timeout.
2 receivers right, 1 to the left, and Texas High is going to call a timeout.
Yeah, they're going to call a timeout just before the play clock expires.
We're going to keep it right here. We didn't give you those scores from the third, or the yardage from the third quarter. Reggie, what do you got in the third quarter for me? I heard you say it was bad for everybody. So Marshall in the third quarter, 5 yards rushing, 60 yards passing. Had a fumble, 65 total yards. Had an interception. Yeah, fumble and an interception to stop those 2 drives. In T-High, they didn't have much more. 16 yards rushing, 22 yards passing, 38 total yards there in the third quarter. But those short fields and that pick 6 make the difference, and Marshall finds themselves down 17 with 6 minutes to play.
Well, I would expect, to pick up 22 yards back when you're in the shadows of your own end zone, kind of look for Texas High probably to run the football here to keep the clock moving. But maybe not. We'll see, because, I mean, you certainly don't want to turn the ball over on a short field back to the Mavericks and give them the opportunity to get back in the game.
And Stewart's out. He hobbled off 2 plays ago, so they fake the handoff to the reserve back. He's going to throw this one up. Oh, as a man streaking down the field, that would have been a touchdown had it been completed. Somebody lost their man.
Yep, that was number 9, Blake Rogers. He was streaking down the Maverick sideline. He had 3 or 4 steps on the defender and had McHenry able to make a decent throw. That would have been another 6 for the Tiger offense.
Well,
the good news, it's going to stop the clock. The Mavericks should have a short field.
Well, I don't know if you've got a punt block. Here's where you'd use it. If you've got it, this is where you would use it. So let's see what Marshall does here. Texarkana punting from their end zone. They do bring some pressure. It's going to be a high kick. It'll fall at the 30 and bounce backwards. Oh, my goodness, and a Marshall man drops on it. I'm not sure. Who is that, number 24?
24. We don't call that, and that's Devarnius Robinson.
Yeah, that's when you get away from that.
You get away. That's going back towards the direction you want to go, and you don't follow it and stop it. You let it roll freely that way. You don't risk turning it over. Mavericks, very short field here at the Tiger 26-yard line. They've got the opportunity maybe to convert.
So what happens if you score and there's 5 minutes left? So let's see if we can get on the board right now. 3 receivers left, 1 right. 1st and 10 from the 24. Low snap. Olvera picks it up. Oh, got the wheel out and up and overthrew him.
He had
him
the
open.
Man. Just a poor throw by Olvera. Robertson does the out and up. He's there wide open about the 10-yard line, but the throw sails way out of bounds, way off the mark. Olvera is certainly not having one of his better nights.
So 2nd down and 10 for the Mavs from the 26-yard line. So 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. 5:42 to play. The Mavericks trail 27-10. Olvera with the snap. It's low, gets it up. He's going to throw it out there to Chichi Roberson. Behind him, it'll fall incomplete.
I don't know if Olvera, if he's just somewhat rattled with the turnovers, but he's been pretty accurate passer on the year, and tonight he's just made some throws that are just not really even close.
Well, and at this point in the ball game, though, Texas High's got their ears pinned back. They know we're not going to run the football, so it's a little bit different scenario when you've got to get it out that fast. So 3rd down and 10, 5:38 to play, 27-20. 2 receivers split wide each side. Here comes Texas High with the blitz. They got everybody. Off they come. Olvera will make 1 man miss. He won't make 2, and he'll be tackled. That will be a sack back from about the 32.
Well, that's a very poor job by the offensive line. They had a 3-man rush and just unable to give Olvera really much time at all to throw. It's going to set up a 4th and about 16 at the 32. Maverick offense is really, really sputtering.
That'll take us under 5 minutes to play, too.
I tell you what, Jace, I know it's a 49-yard attempt, but I'm not too sure. I don't kick the field goal here and at least try to bring it within 2 scores.
So Marshall's going to go for it from the Texas High 32. They got to get all the way down to the 17 for a 1st down. Olvera drops back. He's going to throw this one up. It's going to be picked.
Off. 6 turnovers.
That'll be picked at the 9?
At the 9-yard line. Like I say, that ball never had a chance. If it left his hand, it looked like a wounded duck, and it flittered out there and never a chance to be caught by the Maverick receiver. I believe that was Smith, the intended receiver.
So that'll bring up turnover. Will be turnover number 5 tonight for the Mavs, trailing 27-10. Texas High will have it at actually they're going to mark that at the 7. So tough sledding right now for Marshall's offense. 4:45 to play. Marshall's defense has done a pretty good job tonight. McHenry will be in the shotgun, a wide receiver split wide each side. They're going to hand it off to Stewart going over the right side. He'll be hog tackled there by Sam Palmer.
I believe that's Donnie Grissom. I believe the backup running back.
Is that 27?
28, I thought. Like Donnie Grissom.
You know, it's a hard numbers to read.
Yeah. Marshall's going to call a timeout. I believe it's a little late, but it looks like the Mavericks are going to go ahead and use the timeouts that they have. They'll have 2 remaining after this one. Go ahead and update the scores from around the district. Like I say, this is the only one still playing, courtesy of that 2-hour halftime show. Pine Tree's going to defeat Jacksonville to 35-7. Mount Pleasant stormed back after being down 14-0. They come all the way back, beat Nacogdoches 28-14 in Nacogdoches. And Hallsville is going to break that long losing streak in the 0-5 start to the 21 season, and they are going to defeat White House 37-21 on the road in White House.
So the Marshall Mavericks probably not going to get the win tonight, down 27-10 with about 5 minutes left to play. So we'll see what the Mavericks can get a stop here on defense. 2nd down and about 7 from the 10. McHenry in the shotgun, got a new back to his right. 1 wide receiver split wide each side with 4:30 to play. Snap is back. They're going to keep this on the ground. You would think the rest of the football game. He stood up by Warren at the 15. That's a pop.
He did get popped there. He gained, like I say, was that about a 6-yard gain? Maybe 7. Instead of 3rd and 2.
Brings up 3rd down 1.
3rd
wow.
and 1.
They gave him the 16.
Favorable spot. Everybody's ready to go home.
Favorable all the way around. Will take us under 4 minutes to play in this one. The Mavericks probably going to fall short tonight. 27-10 is our score. That might be the score that we end with. And really not a game where Marshall got outplayed, just a game where things didn't go our way, made some mistakes, and McHenry gets under center. Oh, he fumbles the football. Let's see if we come away with it. Ball's on the turf.
There's no way he gets the first down there. So it did look like the ball was on the ground. The official over here, the line judge on the home side, he's motioning 4th down.
So Coach Greedle will stop the clock with 3:31 to play. The Maverick defense gets another stop. I'll tell you what, the defense has done a pretty good job tonight. I mean, they're putting it in some kind of bad situations.
Well, they have. They've stepped up when they've needed to. They've had, they came out the second half, got that 3 and out that we needed. Offense just unable to, other than that little spurt, when we were down 10-0, the offense really kind of got it together there, tied it up, and it just seemed like when we had that missed onside kick attempt, it's just kind of like someone took the wind out of our sail.
Well, and in 5 turnovers, all but 6 now, 6 turnovers. Did 5 of those in the second half? Is that right? I think that's correct. I think we had 1 in the first. That's a safety.
That's a quick 2 points.
That's a safety.
Deep snapper snaps the ball well over the punter's head, not even close. I mean, it's probably 3 or 4 yards over his head. It sails out of the back of the end zone. That's going to give the Mavericks 2 points. Hey, Chase, all of a sudden, with that 2 points, that brings it within a 2-score game. That's really kind of huge because Mavericks are going to get the ball here.
Well, then they've got to kick it from the 20.
Right, they're going to kick it from the 20.
So this will be interesting. Now, this is what would get interesting.
Well,
if Chi-Chi ran it back.
Well, if he runs that back, a 2-point conversion, and all of a sudden it's 27-20. Still, just that right there, really. I mean, the 2 points. You think, well, in a 17-point game, that's not really big, but with no time off the clock, all of a sudden you move the Mavericks from a 3-score deficit. Now it's a 2-score deficit with no time off the clock.
And so you're not going to pooch kick this one.
No, they're going to try to get this one. Yeah, I don't think they're. I would think they're. Well, they are going to do a place kick. You have the option. You can either do it what's called a free kick, or you can punt it. And they're going to choose to do a free kick. And
well, I tell you what, that snap, there was no question. I mean, it was a rocket over the punter's head. So here we go, kicking from the 20. 27-12, our score, 3:27 to play. Chi-Chi Roberson back along with Warren. Let's see if we can get a return here. They will kick it deep. Nope, they're going to pooch kick it again. I cannot believe we fair catch that.
I don't understand that. I mean, he's got the opportunity. That's Ja'Cory Smith. I mean, a seasoned starting receiver, And now, we'll say they may be coached to do that. The coaches may be telling them if that ball comes to you in any of those up back positions, you call for a fair catch. I mean, that's very likely. So, really, that's a favorable turn of events there for Texas High. They kick it as deep as they've kicked it from their own 20, and the Mavericks will start at the 42-yard line. So, gonna have to have a quick score here.
So 3:26 to play in the football game. Marshall trails 27-12. Ideally, you'd score on this play. Let's see what happens. 2 stack formation receivers each side. First time we've seen that. Olvera takes a snap, drops back. He's got his man. Oh, my goodness. He is sacked, and I would think that would be a penalty because he hit him in the head.
Yeah, I don't know if the rules are the same
I can't
in high
believe.
school, but, in the pros, you can't hit the court. He literally got clotheslined. Defender came through. I don't think it was a face mask, but he almost like he grabbed him around the throat and just throws him to the turf.
Yeah, watching the replay, that should be a penalty. Yeah, he tackled him with his, on the neck, like you said. That I don't know if that's not a penalty. I guess it's not tonight. So that's going to stop the clock as they tend to Olvera at the 34-yard line. I think he's going to be okay. They'll help him up, but he's going to have to come out.
Yeah, he'll have to come out for one play, and I'm thinking probably here Collier Sloan will probably finish out the night, and why not? I mean, let the young sophomore come in when there's a little bit of game here to go, an opportunity. Olvera's had a rough night. I mean, we all have those. Let's let Sloan come in here. Let's see what he can do in these last 3 minutes and 16 seconds.
So Marshall will have the football second down in a bunch. They got to get all the way to the Texas High 48 for a first down. And the ball is going to be spotted right about the 24-yard line of Marshall. So a huge loss there of just about 8. 2 receivers split wide left, 1 right. Sloan drops back. He'll be rushed, and he will be snowed under at the 25.
That's the same thing. I say the Tigers are really just sending 3 guys up front, and our front 5 can't hold them out. Really just a very unsatisfactory job by the offensive line trying to give our quarterback some time to throw.
And they're rushing 4, I think. I don't think are they rushing 4 or they're rushing 3?
Well, I don't know if one. I only saw 3 kind of back in the day.
Yeah, they are rushing 3.
Rushing 3.
That's right. So third down and 28. No, they're bringing 4. They're bringing the man off the end. Pass will be complete on a swing pass, but not much out there. He'll cross the 25, get up to about the 27. But, yeah, that's what they're doing is they're walking up that linebacker on the outside, and they're bringing him on a blitz every play. And that's got us a little bamboozled, I think. We'll go under 2 minutes to play. 27-12. I think that might be where we end this one. 4th down in a bunch. Marshall's is going to go for it here from their 28-yard line. They've got to get to the 48 of Texas High. Sloan drops back. Here comes the pressure. He's going to throw this one up. Good pass. And it's somehow caught.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Jaquan Smith. He just flung out there, and I think he's going to probably have knocked the breath out of him. He came down on the ball, it appears, and he's going to catch the ball at the 35-yard line where it's going to set up 1st and 10 for the Mavericks.
Yeah, they're going to spot. Look, they're going to spot it at the 37, 38. Wow, they're going to spot it at the 38.
Well, the good thing is it's a first down.
That's right. So a minute 49 to play.
What an effort there by Jaquan Smith.
He is a pass-catching acrobat dude now. I'm telling you. That was a pretty good throw from Sloan, too.
They're going to bring it all the way back to the 37. I guess that's where they're saying he did completely lay out. He is okay. He left the field, is taking his helmet off, and appears that he may have just knocked the breath out of him. But great first down catch for Jaquan Smith.
So Marshall will have the football. They'll blow it back into play. Clock starts at a minute 48. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. First down and 10. Snap back to Sloan. Here comes the Tigers with the blitz. He'll get to the outside, trying to get rid of it. He will, and that almost is pick number 7.
Almost had turnover number 7. I'm not sure I've ever seen a game where a team, I've seen 5 and 6 before, but I'm not sure I can ever recall a game where the ball was turned over 7 times.
Well, and mostly in one half. I mean, it's a 17-10 ball game at halftime. And the crazy thing is, it's still not, I mean, it's a close game. I mean, we're talking 2 scores, 27-12. The question is, can Marshall punch this thing in here and make it at least a little more interesting to end? So 2nd down and 10 from the 38-yard line. Sloan's going to get this one off right before the clock expires. He's going to throw it up. Oh, he has a man out there. He overthrows him. Looking for Chi-Chi Roberson.
Chi-Chi was sprinting down the right sideline over there, and Sloan, he just puts a little bit too much air under it, and it's going to throw it about 5 yards over his head.
So that'll bring up 3rd down and 10. Stops the clock with 1:29 to play. Again, if you're just joining us, our score is Texas High 27, Marshall 12. Mavericks just not able. They made too many mistakes tonight across all facets of the football game. Kind of caught up with them. So 3rd down and 10 for Marshall from the 38-yard line. 2 receivers split wide each side. Sloan drops back looking to pass. Ooh.
That's pass interference. You're going to get, looks like, that AP over there?
Yep.
He was the intended receiver. He was running an out route. I'm not sure if he got held or pushed, but the official puts a flag on the ground, and that'll be an automatic 1st down for the Mavericks.
I think he got tackled, pushed, maimed, hog-collared. He had a lot of people doing stuff to him over there. So that'll be 1st down and 10 for Marshall from the Texas High 31.
Still have a pulse, Chase. Still have a chance.
Tell you what, you got to tip your hat. The kids have not quit a lick. They are still fighting. 2 receivers split wide each side. Sloan drops back looking to pass. He's going to throw this one deep. He's got a man there, but it'll be picked off. Yep, that's going to be picked off in the end zone. He just put too much air under that one.
7 turnovers for the Mavericks tonight. Unbelievable. That may be a school record.
That's probably getting pretty close. I can't think of a game with 7. Is that right, Reggie? 7 turnovers? 4 in this half. Okay, well, I know we had a fumble in the first. That's 5. Did we have a pick in the first? We had a pick in the first, I think, didn't we?
You had, like I say, you had 4. Unless I missed something, I think you had 4 interceptions by Olvera. You had the fumble by Smith after he caught the ball. You just had that one right there, and then you had the turnover on the 2nd kickoff of the game that we basically didn't really muff it. We just didn't. Well, we did actually. It hit us and muffed, and it went into their possession.
So this is a strange turn of events while we're trying to think about how many turnovers we have tonight. They made the touchback, but there was a penalty on the play, so the ball was placed at the 2.
Actually, he intercepted it in the field of play.
Oh,
his momentum.
Okay.
His momentum.
I got you.
Momentum carried him into the end zone, and so they're bringing it back out to the 2.
So let's see if Marshall can get a stop here with 1:13. Maybe pick up some more points here on the safety if we can get it. Handoff in the end zone, trying to bounce it to the outside. Oh, he does. He'll take it up to the 5, and he is slammed down to the ground. Ball pops out, but they're going to say that he was down. Got an injured Tiger on the.
Tiger. It looks like maybe a leg cramp. I hope that it is anyway.
I don't know. That looks like a knee. I think we're going to take a break. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. We'll see how long this break takes. The Mavericks trail the Tigers 27-12 with about a minute to play. Stay with us. You're listening to Marshall Maverick Football on the heartbeat of East Texas. Well, folks, welcome back to our game tonight. Texas High and Marshall, 27-12 is our score with 1:04 to play. The Mavericks going to fall in Texarkana tonight in a game that got away from them early. They clawed their way back and then just had too many mistakes to hang on.
I guess it's the old saying, just couldn't stand success. Is that something? What's the saying?
We just had too many mistakes tonight across the board. That's a tough one. It's a tough place to play.
It is.
So victory formation really for Texas High. All they got to do is snap it and fall on it.
And they're going to wait for the play clock to get down to probably about 2. Say that probably this snap and one more.
Oh, that was an interesting. So Jacoban went and grabbed the football. I guess that's to stop the clock and make them run a play. Yeah, if you don't do that, then on the defense, that's going to stop the clock. So.
Well, I think what's going to happen here, there's going to be should be a delay of, they're going to call it a delay of game penalty. Probably move the ball 5 yards and start the game clock, or start the the game clock.
So to tell you what happened at home, one of the Marshall players, they were just waiting on this play clock to go down, and one of the Marshall players just went and picked the ball up. I don't know if he thought somebody moved it or if he did that to stop the clock. It did, in fact, stop the clock. And I don't know if anybody knows what to do. The refs are like, I don't think we've ever seen that. Let's see what he called.
Delay of game.
So a 10-second runoff, so that'll take it down to 35 seconds left, according to the white hat.
All right, we got 3 minutes and 55 seconds left on the clock now. They put the decimal in the wrong place.
So that'll all but do it. They'll have one more snap, and that will be it from Grimm Stadium, a place that has been grim for the Mavericks for years and years. Tough place for us to play. A losing record in this stadium, and it will continue here tonight as the Mavericks will fall to Texas High 27-12. That is going to be our final score. We've got one more play. Come on, guys. Blow this thing in, and let's run a play. Snap that football. So all we got to do is snap it one time, and that ought to be it. McHenry will snap it, takes a knee, and that is our football game. So stay with us. We'll be back after this. We'll wrap this one up from Grimm Stadium in Texarkana. The Mavs fall tonight 27-12. We'll be back right after this. Well, folks, welcome back here to Texarkana, Texas, where the Mavericks drop a tough one tonight. They lose to the Tigers 27-12 is our final score as we await Reggie Cooper putting those numbers together. Tough one for Marshall tonight. The Tigers come out and jump on us early. Marshall makes a bunch of mistakes early in the football game. They get down 10-0 at the end of the first quarter. But, Glenn, they battle back in the second, and they tie it up 10-10. With 4:13 left to play in the half. The Mavericks try an onside kick that we don't recover. Texas High goes down and scores to go in 17-10 at halftime, and really nothing really went well for us beyond that point in the football game.
Yeah, like I say, that just really took the wind out of our sail. I thought that spurt when we were down 10-0, we had a couple of possessions, a couple of stops by the defense. We go down, the best offensive surge we had of the night to tie it up after a 10-point deficit. There's no doubt the momentum is on the Maverick sideline. We try the onside kick that just didn't even really have a chance. Not sure what the thought process was there, but anyway, it's like Texas High takes the ball down, scores just before the half. Our defense comes out and does a great job. The first possession, the second half, gets the 3 and out. we have the opportunity to go down and try to tie it up, and the offense just couldn't seem to find any traction for the entire second half.
Yeah, offense tonight really struggled. First half, Olvera was 5 of 9 for Olvera was 11 of 15 for 132 yards, a touchdown, and 1 interception. So we had 2 turnovers in the first half that really didn't seem to kill us. We were right there in the football game, 17-10. But boy, at second half, we turned it over 4 or 5 times there in the second half. Really, that made all the difference in the world. The defense kept us in there like they have all season, but offense not able to generate any points.
The defense has played great all year. I mean, even going back to the scrimmage back at Mavericks Stadium, I'm real proud of the way the defense played really all night. You think about it, your offense, special teams gives them 7 turnovers, and they only scored 27 points. I mean, to me, you kind of tip your hat to the defense. You give them that many. I mean, you get their normal possessions, and you give them 7 bonus possessions, and the defense only allows 27 points. But, Chase, even though we had that point where we came back and tied the game, to me, it seemed like the tone of the game was set on the very opening kickoff, when they kind of pooch it over, and it appears that we really didn't know what to do. We got lucky. The ball kind of caroms off of them, kicks it back to us. We were able to recover it, not really do anything with it. To me, it just seemed like that kind of set the pace for the whole game.
And I tell you, Marshall, they were focused, had a good week of practice, and this is not taking anything away from Texas High. They are not. These are 2 pretty evenly matched football teams. If you play this game 10 times out of 10, it may be 5 for us, 5 for them. But you're exactly right. If you have 6, 7 turnovers in a football game and the other team only scores 27 points, I mean, that's not very much. And one of those was a pick 6.
Right.
That's not on the defense.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, that's not on the defense at all.
So here's the thing. A lot of football left in this one. We've seen Texas High is not bulletproof. I mean, they almost got beat by Hallsville last week.
Well, what we need to hope for is, Pine Tree's a good football team. We beat Pine Tree. They play next week. And at Pine Tree. Pine Tree wins that game. As I mentioned, earlier in the broadcast about the Mavericks' remaining schedule, and I'll repeat that again. Going into tonight, our remaining 4 opponents have a combined record of 2-17. The Maverick team that played in the weeks past, not tonight, they run the table. So we finished District 6-1. We just need Texas High to lose to Pine Tree. You never know. Mount Pleasant's 2-1 now.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I think Pine Tree beats that team. We've seen Pine Tree. We've seen Texas High. Now Texas High, they play well, but I don't think that's an unbeatable football team. And I think Pine Tree is pretty good, especially defensively. Yeah. So
if Pine Tree, and of course they'll have them on their home turf, so we'll be pulling for the Pirates next week like we never have before.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, you've got a 3-way tie at the top of the district.
Well, we'll see what happens. Reggie Cooper says that the stats don't make sense. We have more yards. I would think we might have had more yards. I could see that. So looking at the stat sheet, the Mavericks only had 11 yards rushing, but 252 yards through the air, so they finished with 263 yards. Quarterbacks combined 22 of 35 for 252. You flip it on over. In Texas High, not much at all. Interesting. First half totals here for Texas High. Show me those games. Are those the game totals? Okay. First half, 106-26 for 132. Second half, listen to these numbers. Texas High had 14 total yards rushing, 22 yards passing, 36 total yards in the second half, Reggie. So they finished the night with 168 yards of total offense, 48 through the air, 120 on the ground. If you'd have told me that before this football game that we would hold them to 168 yards, I would have told you we'd have won.
Yeah. And then over there, that couple of lines below it, you see the 7 turnovers.
Yep. So that really is the difference. Reggie's going to check that. But I don't think that's going to be too far off. I mean, it might be 30, 40 yards. Let's say they get 200, 212. I mean, the defense is really, really good, and our defense keeps us in football games. And when you have a bad night on offense, sometimes that defense can overcome that for you. Yeah. But tonight you can't overcome that many turnovers.
Well, the offense struggled, but I really think I guess the letdown tonight, which has been just a staple for our team all year, is our special teams. I mean, let's think about that. I mean, even though it didn't hurt the opening kickoff, we didn't really appear that we know that it's a live ball. We were fortunate to get it back. The next kickoff after they score, we bounce it off our chest. We turn it over. We miss a field goal. We have
an onside kick that doesn't work.
Onside kick that doesn't work. On our punt returns, I don't know if that's the way they're coached, but it doesn't appear to me that we go for a punt block or set up the punt return. We let their gunners, if you will, just release down the field, and we just watch them run by us, and we don't give Robertson, who's probably maybe the best athlete on the team, and not really giving him a chance to return a punt.
Well, the Mavs fall tonight. Tough one. 27-12 is the final score. So I think we've about wrapped this one up. Player of the game tonight?
As hard as it was last week to really, we had a lot of players that contributed. It was difficult, but, I've got to go with Ja'Cory Smith. He made several great catches, especially that one. The game was already in hand, but, really sells out and makes a great catch there. So I've got to go with Ja'Cory Smith. He's really who I think gets my game ball.
Well, I can tell you a lot of football left to play. 4 games left for the Mavericks. If they run the table, they finish the season 7-3, at least second place in district. That would be a fantastic, fantastic season. So I need people to come out for next week.
I think with the win over Pine Tree, we pretty much are a lock for.
I wouldn't say that. There's a lot of games to play.
I'm saying if we run the table.
Run the
table, which we should, we finish at least second by ourselves.
That's right.
We've got the head-to-head with Pine Tree.
That's right.
Pine Tree beats Texas High. Then, depending on what else happens, we could improve that. But we went out. We're no worse than sole possession in second place.
So as they say, take care of business. You host a playoff game, and you put this one behind you. And that's one thing this team's been pretty good at. You have a tough night, don't do well. They've been able to put that behind them and move on to the next one. And they're going to have to do that this week as they move next week. White House at home. Big game for the Mavericks. Need to win that one, get back in the win column. So, folks, make sure you come out and cheer on the Mavs next week at Marshall's Maverick Stadium. Only 2 home games left. So come out and watch this next one.
Pink out, I
believe.
Pink out,
that's
right.
Pink
out next Friday night at Maverick Stadium.
So, final score tonight from Texarkana. The Texas High Tigers 27, the Marshall Mavericks 12. I'm Chase Palmer on behalf of Glenn Bickerdike, Reggie Cooper, Topher Patty, Alec Reyes. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week. Go Mavs.